Ryan, how's it going, my man?
It is going very well. You know why?
Why is that?
I'm going to turn the camera to the reason when I do editing. Hey, my man. How are you, Antwan?
I'm doing swell. How are y'all?
Oh, we're so happy to have you back.
Happy to be here.
Every time, I mean, the next show after you've been on, we always kind of recap a little bit. And I think Trey was really excited last time. He's like, Antwan's got this energy.
He does. He brings the energy.
Yeah. So
but now I'm going to bring a headline.
Oh,
period.
Yeah.
Shut up, Antwan.
I'm sorry.
Apparently.
That was enough intro.
Okay, you got
We're
one of your headlines. Let's hear it.
This is probably good for you. Are you Gen Z or y'all don't talk on the phone anymore? So this hiker.
Did you know you could talk on the phone, Antwan?
Yeah.
What's a phone?
Yeah, exactly. So this hiker was lost for 24 hours. Can you imagine being lost for 24 hours? That would suck, right?
A hiker or a hitchhiker?
It says a hiker.
Okay.
So he was out hiking, and he said he was lost for 24 hours because he ignored calls from rescuers because it was an unknown number. I'm looking to see if he's in Florida, but I don't see anything about Florida.
Well, I feel like that. I immediately want to go, okay, someone made that up, but
so I love the comments, So
you love comments.
So yeah,
tell them.
And of course they're like, well, send me a text. Although, how was he lost for so long if he had cell service?
I'm like, how is he receiving calls?
But he can't call anybody.
He can't find
if it's like an
out.
Emergency hotline, that's how they can get through.
And
wait, that just debunked the whole thing in one comment.
Right.
Why are we even talking about it?
So they should have left a voicemail. I bet he would have listened to that,
Right.
Yeah, because he's bored, has something else to do.
Everybody's like, I'm not going to get
But have you noticed
calls.
None of those numbers ever leave voicemail?
Right.
Nobody, I mean,
right.
If you're a number and you've got some business interest and you think I'm not going to care, well, give it a shot. Like, I'm definitely not going to call you back if you don't leave me a voicemail.
Right. And everybody's saying that search and rescue should have texted him. So
yeah, everybody texts now.
And then the last one, of course, says, we know you're lost in the mountains, but do you have a moment to talk about your car's extended warranty? So, do you get those calls all the time about stupid?
I only ever got one.
Oh, okay. Well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of interesting. But yeah, doesn't say where he's at. Unfortunately, it's got to be in Florida hiking.
You
somewhere.
think he's
or maybe
I don't know if there's a lot of
man
hiking in Florida.
Yeah, maybe a Florida man went somewhere to hike. So anyway, yeah. Thank you, Josh Wolf.
That first comment was enough for me to kind of be like, okay, you're right. Well, if it's got service.
But to your point, maybe it was just an emergency signal, emergency.
Yeah. But also, I feel like the police could have just left a voicemail like, hey, dude, we're really trying to help you.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Or text. Or even that exact same thing on text.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude.
Hey, I know we haven't talked in a couple of years, but, I just hope you're doing well.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, pick up your phone,
What
dipshit.
if you said responds, new phone, who's this?
Yeah. Honestly, should.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, shit. Okay.
All right. You already said Gen Z once. I thought we would... I think we should do it. Anybody watching or listening should do a drinking game for every time we say Gen Z, because we tend to do it whenever we don't like something or understand something that Antwan says. We just say we blame it on Gen Z.
Yeah.
Oh. And so now everybody can take a drink anytime I or Trey or Antwan says Gen Z or Gen X. Why not?
Why not?
Get drunk, get plastered. But speaking of that, I find it when Trey and I text with Antwan on a group text. Antwan replies with a bunch of acronyms that most of them I've learned, and I'm like, all right, cool. I feel all cool. We talked about the word slay.
Slay, yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I think Trey and I say that to each other 6 times a day now.
Doesn't sound right, but yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah. And I always remember a little late. And so you'll say something and I'll remember, and then I'm like, oh yeah, slay.
Slay. That was a good slay.
Yeah, that was a good slay. Let's slay it out, or use it the wrong way.
Oh, shit.
So I have a little game that we're going to play.
Okay.
And you two are contestants against each other.
Oh, no.
I'm going to win.
Well,
so
probably.
Obviously. That was the whole point, was that I wanted to watch Trey get his ass kicked at something, and this will happen. This is basically... used acronyms on for teens and in your 20s.
Okay.
So yeah, I have no chance.
For texting.
Okay.
So I want to see how many you know.
Okay.
There were some that surprised me. There were some that were hilarious, and there were some that were like I don't understand.
Like you're saying that.
I thought this would be pretty fun to do. So let's try. We'll go easy so Trey can get a few right.
Go slow, yes.
Okay, so BRB.
Be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to do this scoring, but it's going to be so one-sided anyway. I'm just going to let you guys shout it out.
Okay.
FWIW.
FWIW.
Oh. I thought this was.
I
would have
idea.
got this one right. For instead of taking our listeners' time, I should probably just say that.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it
sorry.
out.
For what it's worth.
Never heard
No
of
one
that
has ever said that.
Really?
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Even I. Okay.
Never heard of that one.
Okay. Wow. The host has stumped already. I thought these were the easy list. Okay. IDK.
I don't know.
I don't care. I don't know yet. I'm sorry. I don't know. You're right. I was thinking C.
Antoine. It's care with a K. Okay?
I was thinking C.
Yeah.
Silent K.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right. Now those are the easy ones. Well, apparently 2 of 3.
Damn it.
So let's go ATM.
At the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
Oh, you knew that one? Okay. How about CTN? CTN. And you should write it down because that is difficult.
CTN.
CTN. Should I put them on little sheets and hold them up so it looks...
Cut the noose. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Holy shit.
This thing could lead to conversation.
Yeah.
Cut the... No.
Okay, this
Cut
is
the
good.
noise.
This is good. Can't talk now.
Oh.
Oh, that's a
yeah.
good one.
Can't talk.
I haven't heard of that one before, but all right.
How about GAL? Gal. GAL.
GAL. Gone. No.
You should. I'm surprised. I've been stumping him a little bit. Maybe
Girl also like, I don't know.
I also want to hear him make them up too. I want to hear what it.
Gone after laid.
This one says "Get a Life."
Get a life. Never heard of that one.
No.
If you had the time to come up with the GAL, maybe you should GAL.
There you go.
Thing.
I like it.
I like that one. So HAK. No.
No, HAK?
Yeah.
Ooh,
You should know this one. And I feel like you would say this one.
have a kid.
Why would you say
I was
that?
about to say have a clue, but that's again a silent K or a clue with a K.
We need to learn our phonetics.
Yeah.
Trey.
Have a
Wait,
no.
okay. No, yeah, I don't know.
Happy
Hugs
about-
and kisses.
Oh my god, that should be like I thought that was
It's X and
XOXO.
O's.
Oh, well, I've been putting HAK at the end of our text tray for years.
Yeah, that's true. Now I know what the hell you're talking about. I just thought you were like hack.
Here's another easy one, I think. LMK.
Let me know.
Yeah,
Okay. SMH.
shaking my head.
Oh, okay, good. I'd say, okay.
Jinx, you owe me
Better than I
soda.
would've done. Here's kind of a weird one. TIME, like time.
TIN.
Things I miss every day.
That would be good, but no.
That
It's tears in my eyes.
tears
Never
in my
heard of that.
eyes.
Like if you're
That's some
That's
Gen
what some of
Z
these
dumb
do.
shit right there.
So what I loved was the Gen Z drink. I'm just going to do it so people can drink. These are funny ones because it's about the quote unquote kids and the younger people who still have parents that are, they're on their phones.
right.
So MOS apparently means mom over shoulder. So like the
Interesting.
mom won't know.
I think I've seen that before.
What is this one? P911 is parent alert.
Interesting. Okay.
If I looked over and I was a parent and I saw anything 911, I'd be like, "What are you? Is everybody okay?"
Right.
And then the last one would be PAW. Parents are watching.
Paul.
Paul. So
Paul.
it just feels like. Anyway, I just feel like.
Do you know what NSFW is?
I think there's a limit on how many letters there are. How many?
N
NF
S
S.
F W.
Not sure. No, go ahead. What is it?
Not safe for work.
Oh.
I thought it was not suitable for
that's
work.
going to
but
be.
that may be the same.
That's one of these other ones I've got here. It should be in that category, which is the vulgar ones, I guess. Well, so Trey, you and I, let's see if this changes for Antoine. But how about POS?
Piece of
Piece
shit.
of shit.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're on board with that. It also apparently means parents over shoulder.
Oh.
Oh.
But see, that's bullshit. And so what that leads me to are these ones where they're like double. It says there's like 3 different ones on one of them, and I'm like, you can't do that because. So BOL could be on later, best of luck, bust out laughing. I mean,
What about
if I put that, you're gonna go, which one are you talking about, asshole?
Yeah.
what about AFK?
I don't know. What's that one?
A fucking kid.
No. Away from keyboard. If you're a gamer,
Oh, so maybe
was
there's
a long
like
time
there's
ago.
gamer lingo that we just don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's half of it. Well, so there's the doubles. It's like VSF is very sad face or very severely fucked.
wow.
So
that could go.
let's get to the ones that Trey's.
Could escalate.
Let's get to the one that Trey's gonna know. How about
WTF?
ASL?
Age, sex, location.
Game over.
I
Trey
knew that,
wins.
but I'm not telling you why I knew that.
I knew.
AOL,
I knew. Let's
chats.
see how many of these you know. This one was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing. GYPO.
GY, get your
Keep going.
Get it out.
penis out.
Close. Get your pants off.
Okay.
Oh,
But why would you need to text that? That was my little note here.
That's a good question.
like if you're sexting, like get your
You're
pants
texting,
off.
get your pants off. But
Yeah.
you just could say they're off.
You can say they're off. Yeah, I've done that a few times.
IWSN.
IWSN.
I want it now.
Well,
I want sex now.
sex now.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
which is good, Antoine. It sounds like you've said that a few times on your acronym. And then the last one is kind of a combo with the parent thing, which is OC. I thought was kind of funny. It means open crib. Other words, no parents.
No parents at home.
Yeah.
Open crib.
Creative.
Interesting.
So there you go. Antoine won, but barely. And not. It wasn't as.
Yeah, I text too damn much.
If someone sent me open crib, I'd say, police, we have a cradle robber on our hands.
Yeah. The question should be how many of these acronyms upset either of you because they're really weird.
Yeah, because if I'm ever seeing a woman and she says OC, that's probably too young for me, right?
Yeah, you might. Well, yeah.
Or no,
Maybe.
POS, parents over shoulder.
Yeah, that's
you're
way
like,
too
why'd
young.
you call me a piece of shit? She goes, no,
No.
my parents are watching
parents
right
are
now.
Like,
You
then
You need to
maybe
calm
I
down.
should take an exit.
Right.
You might be a little too young.
Yeah. Or, I mean,
Maybe she just is old and lives with her parents. That's a red flag. Or is it? I don't
is that
know.
a red flag?
For a girl, that's a good question. If a woman that you go on a date with says, "Yeah, I'm living with my parents still," and she's your age, 23.
2?
I
I
feel
thought
like
you were 23.
if you're not moved out of your parents' house by the ripe age of like, I'm gonna just be like, I guess I don't know, like 20. I mean,
I think 22 is fine.
I'm in college.
Yeah.
I have like a warped, I guess, sense of when you should be gone. But
No, I think 22 is still fine.
Yeah, it's
To be
fine.
with your back. I think when you get into that mid 20s, 25, 26, 27, and you're like, well, whatever.
But like,
I'm moved back in after my first marriage, though.
Well, but that's not for, but how long, if you don't mind sharing?
I don't remember actually.
But it wasn't,
Maybe a year.
not for a long, but that's to get back on your feet after, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that,
but like, okay. If I'm talking to a guy at my age right now, and he's like, "Oh, so I live at my parents' house," I'm like, "Then what are we gonna do?" Like, you know,
Yeah.
if I go over, like, your mom just hears me getting railed, and like, what? That's not a very good impression.
Yeah.
I don't know
Is she going to
about
be
that.
uncomfortable?
You know,
Or?
it's not gonna. Do I need to be?
yeah. Is there a volume level that I
What are
can get
what are the
to?
parameters here? I don't
Yeah.
really know. Like,
Is there a rule book that you can, yeah.
Is mom going to bring us something to drink while
yeah,
we're in the middle?
Do
of
we
this,
get
or-
orange slice?
Yeah. Is there
Is she going to make us a sandwich?
is there an intermission that we would have snacks?
Right.
do we stop for dinner at 6 o'clock?
Do we have to put clothes on when we go out and get the snacks?
I feel like that'd probably be the only issue with still living with the parents.
Yeah, other than that's fine.
Other than that, it's fine on the surface. But what are the underlying issues with that person that's
Yeah.
caused them to be there? And I'm sure there are some legitimate reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we've all. I don't know. I mean, you don't count yet. You're only 22, but I think. I mean, I've gone back for a month or two, just here in between things because it just works out with the lease and how things work. But
Right.
so yeah, bottom line is we'll move on. If you see
Bottom line is we'll
if you
just
see
move
an
on.
acronym that it looks like it can involve a teenage girl,
Call your local authorities.
call your
If somebody
everybody
sends you
else.
an acronym you don't know, is it okay to ask them what the fuck it is? Or does that
I
mean
was
you're too
I didn't
old
want to
at
ask
that
today.
point?
I was like, what's that?
If they send you an acronym you don't know, call Homeland Security. They are a terrorist.
Don't Google it.
They are a national threat.
National threat.
A threat to national security.
Got it.
So speaking of men, I don't know, Antoine. we have switched over. Now we are with Spotify as our host. I don't know if you knew that.
Slay.
And Slay, that's right. That's right. man.
Slay. That's right.
Yeah, slay it up big time on the down low.
Oh,
And
we just lost our young audience.
right. So that's kind of what this
What little
has to
we
do with.
had.
Our statistics were for the longest time. Once we switched with Spotify, we were very, very strong with the female listeners. I mean, to the point
I
where it was like
remember that,
78% female.
Okay.
And we thought it was our, savage good looks and maybe just the way we spoke about women,
Yeah.
which then you listen to the next couple episodes and we talked about fat women and
You speak so highly of women all the time.
and let me tell you, those numbers have changed.
Aw.
Oh,
Yeah.
dramatically.
Why?
It's been dramatic.
Oh.
And the men, I think it's because the men have stepped up and they are going,
We got to follow these
Yeah,
guys.
we had-
The men
Pilot
have
on.
silenced the woman, have reduced them to homemakers only, and so the woman can't listen.
that's
anymore.
what it is. That's the problem.
They
And
should be able to listen while they're
we-
making a sandwich.
we don't condone that.
No?
We don't condone that on our show.
Yeah.
It depends on the type of sandwich.
Making the
But-
sandwich while they're eating,
Right.
while they're listening to us.
And there the rest go.
Dang.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so women, we apologize for anything that might have upset you. I
Sure.
think now it's time for you, because I believe in you, you can kick the shit out of the guys and come back strong and let's take them back over.
Go to your kid. Actually, no. Just find the nearest cast iron skillet, and when your husband's not looking, just whack him from the back, and then collect his life insurance,
Oh,
and just live a happy life.
that's rough.
With that,
Or just,
I don't even know.
Or just take that skillet pan and make me some fucking eggs.
you know what? First, make him the eggs, and then hit him over the head with it.
Damn.
While he's eating them,
Can I eat the eggs first? No?
No, like while you're eating the eggs. Like,
Okay.
you'll get like one bite,
Couple bites.
at least. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
last meal.
When she was
meal, yeah.
like, those black-eyed peas, they tasted all right to me, Earl. You know,
Earl.
Yeah, goodbye, goodbye,
Yeah.
Earl. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a long time
It
ago.
was a long time.
Goodbye. That's a good song.
So anyway,
Sorry. So, How to Murder Your Husband, brought to you by
yeah.
Antwan.
yeah.
But yes.
Before we do our show, Trey and I do like a set list, like a band would before they perform on stage.
Right.
Some of ours are pretty funny in the past. Maybe one day I'll share mine. I keep them, and they're, as you can imagine, pretty interesting.
Little scrapbook.
Trey's today was a lot.
But every time we have Antwan on, it's just like this has nothing to do with our whole set list. Like,
Right.
I think we've gotten to one thing I wrote down.
Yeah.
which I love.
But
But it didn't have to do with frying pan murders.
Right.
In my employee file, they have in all caps distraction and the workplace.
Were you that kid in class?
Actually, I wasn't.
And you paid attention.
But no, it
I don't think I.
I
don't know if
paid
believe that.
attention. I really did. I was actually kind of like really quiet and shy growing up. And then one day, I just would not shut the hell up. And
When was that? Like middle school or high school or less?
Like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
no,
5 years ago
it
in middle
was-
school.
It was today. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like freshman year of high school, and then from there, if there was a room, I was gonna command it.
This might sound weird, but did it kind of correlate with the time you came out?
It never came out.
Oops. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean
imagine?
to. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
When he came out as a black man.
Yeah.
That's what you're asking.
Actually, I think it.
When you realized you were a black man, is
Yeah.
that when you got?
When I realized I was
super
taken
excited?
aback because I was like, in white America, I think the fuck not. No.
Right.
No. I think
Damn
when I came
honkies.
out, I think I was like, I don't have to really hide that part of myself anymore, and so I can just do whatever and just be whoever I want to be. And
So you're saying there might
Oh yeah,
something to that.
correlate. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was lucky though because I have like a very accepting family and whatnot.
Yeah, that is
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Godspeed to y'all.
When we come out, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You know what? Sure, yeah.
Well, I'm good. I'm married to a woman. Trey got divorced. I don't know if there's any reason behind that.
So when Trey was late today, he was late because earlier we were texting and he was like, "Please, can I get like a sprinkle of you know what from you?" And I was like, "Trey, that it's not appropriate. We're coworkers." And so he was like, "I'm feeling a bit embarrassed. I'm gonna like do some stalling before I walk into."
He Googled.
We're supposed to tell him that.
Well, he was sending you acronyms, and you were looking them up, and that's why it took so long because you couldn't figure it out.
It threw me off. I thought he was talking dirty to me for a second. No.
It's one of those 3 meaning ones, and he's like,
Shit.
"No,
Which one is this?
Yeah, why would you think
I'm
that?
just telling you, it involved me bent over like a kitchen island, and I am not getting behind that today. So.
That's where the sandwiches are made.
Oh my god.
And the frying pans are kept.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, that definitely wasn't on the set list.
That was not.
No, but I like it. I like that because it doesn't seem that far-fetched. And our listeners probably feel the same way. I'm just kidding, Trey. I know you like women. Sure. The second thing I wanted to say, I love how time just gets away. I look down, I'm like, holy shit.
We didn't get it. Did you even tell us the quick update? How the men are.
I was just saying the men have taken over the women.
What's the percentage?
Like almost the same the other way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, a little less. Probably like 65% men now.
Gotcha. Maybe they figured out how to use Spotify.
It could be that. I don't know what it is on the other. The only other thing I know is like TikTok does some. I point to the young guy for TikTok.
I'm TikTok.
They do some stats when you do things analytics, and I think we have decent female over there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's like it's like 55-45, but it's still female.
Are they of legal age?
Well, what does the bar next to 13 to 17 mean on the age?
Not legal age.
That means they're actually 13 to 17?
I would assume.
No, we don't have many of those at all. We have like 4.
Okay.
So
like,
I'm
what, less than 1%?
I thought I was going to have to leave.
No,
so I'm glad.
No,
Okay.
no. The bars are like little bitty bars for the first like 3 categories, the 3 ranges, and once you get to about 20, I forget what it is, 28 or something, we start picking up all the way
Thank
through,
God.
all the way through until 50, and then the 55 and plus goes back down.
Back down, yeah.
Which sounds about right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the men, that was the whole point. The other statistic that I thought was interesting, for as much as I bash Android, it keeps track of that, and Android is beating the shit out of Apple and iPhone.
Really?
When it comes to who's listening to us on phones.
Wow.
I didn't know that they kept that, and I looked and I was like, whoa. And I'm talking like...
Which is weird. I feel like a degenerate for still having an Android.
Yeah, and you should, because again, we're trying to figure out, you're an iPhone guy.
You have an iPhone.
Yeah, so when we're trying to figure out dinner plans before the show, it's fucking green, Trey. And we want, Antwan and I want blue. We've been through
blue
this.
and gray.
Well, and I told you when I got back into the dating world, there was women that actually, oh, you're an Android guy. I'm like, how the fuck does she know that? You know?
You didn't even know.
No, I was like, what the fuck?
I'm going to be sober with you. Every guy I've ever talked to who has an Android has been like so weird. And
That sounds about right for our listeners.
I don't know if there's
perfect,
I don't know why. You're not weird.
Thank you.
But they were.
Yeah, our listeners are lovely,
No, yeah, we love the listeners.
but probably weird.
And that's fine.
We needed some weirdness.
Yeah. It reminded me that I meant to tell you, Trey, on that when we talked about that once, that my sister is an Android user. Her husband is an Android guy, and I think he's anti-Apple because of many reasons. He's one of those guys. He reads a lot, knows a lot, intelligent guy. You know him.
Right.
And she and I got into it, and it became this huge thing about, because she said that anybody that has Apple is a sheep.
Oh, wow.
And I did not like that term. It made me feel, that's exactly what I did. I said, bah, back, fuck you. And so I felt I was just like, I feel like people that say that, and they do it in politics too, you're a sheep.
Right.
You're telling me I don't have the intelligence to make decisions for myself based on other things. I don't care if I have to buy a different charger. And
Well, you are a married man, so
yeah. What do you mean? I don't get choices, right?
yeah.
But
You have to reach out to find out what you need.
if I'm in an airplane, I told her this, and then the conversation kind of died. If I'm in an airplane and I am on the internet, I can text with other Apple
iMessage, yeah.
iMessage. I can't text you, sister, with your Android. So I just thought I'd mention that because
I thought you were going to go different ways. Like, I make my decisions when I'm on an airplane. I pick the movies I want to watch.
no, I'm justifying iPhone versus Android.
Gotcha.
But now I need to take it back because our Android usage, our Android users are the ones listening, not Apple or iPhone. So
I'm being pushed by somebody to get an iPhone too.
Yeah, well, this is a boring segment. I'll admit that, but I just wanted to update, and that's why I left having Antwan here because I don't even think it was your fault this time. The flow, men have overtaken women, and Android has overtaken iPhone. That should have been it. Let's move on.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so
Oh,
in one of the segues, one of our beautiful segues, Antwan, that we have, where we go from something that means absolutely nothing to something that actually means something. I think you should. I think you should kind of intro this segment because we are going to shift gears and actually give you guys something serious. And I think it'll be a good discussion. But I want you to, since you kind of introduced me to it today, and I think it's fascinating. So I'm going to let you kind of roll with it, and I'll jump in kind of. Anybody knows the show knows I'm going to jump in at some point. So
well, hell, you can't even give it over to him before you're already.
Yeah. So let's talk a little more about how I'm going to let Antwan lead in.
So as I said before, I'm going to let Antwan start this discussion.
That did take about 42 seconds for me to do that. Go ahead, Antwan. Unless you don't have it ready.
Oh, sorry. I just got an email from my professor.
So
my final.
So what we're going to do is...
no, okay, I'm finding it, guys. Okay, hold on. So there's this guy. His name isn't Ron Swanson. What is it? Jon Romano.
Jon Romano.
Okay.
His name is
Pretty
Jon
much,
Romano.
he has over 250,000 subscribers. No, what the hell? I'm so old. Oh my god, followers on TikTok, and he is.
Well, YouTube is still subscribers, right?
Yeah, but TikTok is followers.
Oh.
But I grew up on YouTube. Anyway, but he has over that many followers on TikTok, and he is he's an ex-school shooter, but he's a school shooter, right?
Okay.
And so he's like telling a story, and people are like, wait, A, why the hell do you have this many followers? B, why are you so nonchalant about being a school shooter?
Right.
C, why'd you only serve 17 years in prison? D, why do you have this platform? Like, people have a lot of questions. People are outraged. And I just thought we should talk about it.
Yeah.
So let me ask.
There's a whole lot that I need. we need to.
I was about to ask. So how old was he when he? Because you said 17 years in prison.
There you go.
So how old was
16
he? Was
years
16
old.
years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Where was this shooting
It was a
at?
school in New York.
Okay.
I'm just. If I have it here, Antwan, I trust you to have.
Wasn't that an everyday occurrence in New York? No.
And there go the New York listeners. But this was in Columbia High School in 2004 in East Greenbush, New York. I don't know where that is, but it doesn't sound like the city.
It's down the street from West Greenbush.
Sounds very suburban to me.
Once you cross the tracks, it's east.
Yeah.
So what happened is this person went in with a shotgun, and he ended up wounding one teacher.
Okay.
He claims on one of his TikTok
He slipped.
No, he claims
that he was shooting over their heads because
show and tell?
He wanted to.
he wanted the police to come.
He wanted him
shoot him.
He couldn't shoot himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He couldn't bring himself to do it. So he said, "If I go in here and start firing, they'll shoot me."
I forgot what that's called. Some kind of
Yeah, I know. What
something
you're saying,
suicide.
Assisted euthanasia.
No, not assisted suicide. It's something where you go in and you want the cops.
Murder
to-
suicide.
No,
it's.
no.
I know. We know. We know
Anyway.
what you're talking about. But that's the whole. That's what he's claiming. And of course, whether you believe that or not. And so he ended up injuring one teacher. No casualties. I'm not. I'm just giving the facts, and then we'll get into it. But no casualties, just injured a teacher. And he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, and he served 17. So now he's 35. I think he must have just had his birthday. 35, and he's out. First topic. For that, going into a school with a shotgun and opening fire, regardless of where it is, and injuring a teacher, was 20 years the right sentence.
No.
Antwan did not even need to think about that.
Let me ask, is there any details? Was it during the day, full of kids?
No,
that kind of stuff?
Well, no, it was during his.
He was
that
like
was his
firing
school.
over like students' heads. Like,
Okay, so there were students.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if the school was closed.
it
He
was-
came in, that kind of stuff.
What?
normal business hours.
I'm just curious.
Well, why would he go in there?
You said his intentions were for the cops. Was it officer assistant? Anyway, were a cop to shoot him. So I don't know if maybe he went in and there was no kids.
like to the faculty
Right.
or just anything?
Yeah. So maybe he went in without students.
From my understanding, and it leads to another debate topic, is it was his quote unquote classmates, is what he's calling them, because
Okay.
he went to school there. It was his school. So that was that. So Antwan says no, 20 years, didn't kill anybody. And again, I'm just giving out the facts.
Yeah.
Didn't kill anybody, injured a teacher, went in. He's claiming this. He's and 17 of the 20. So how long do you think he should have gotten? I mean, not exact, but I mean, just you think
Honest to God,
More or less.
20 is
if your intention is to go into a school where America's future is like learning, minding their own business, like our youth, and your intention is to go like shoot it up, you deserve life in prison.
But
Wow.
his intention wasn't to shoot it up.
But that's
though,
what
is
I'm
you're
saying. How can you prove intent?
Maybe his intention was, like what he's saying, his intention was just to get the cops there to shoot
But
him.
what if he's just bullshitting?
That's true too.
That's
and
what
we
I'm
won't
saying.
know. We won't know.
That's what I'm saying. You can't prove intent.
Did he have what do they call him, a manifesto or whatever the fuck they call him after the fact, where they go and read and see what his
think so.
intentions was? Like, did he post shit on social? It was even
Well, yeah, it was
social media back then?
2004. No,
And his MySpace,
Wasn't that when- yeah, mine is
Well,
MySpace.
I'll throw it in reverse then. If you, for any reason, go into a school where America's youth is learning
With a gun.
and start like firing off, you deserve life in prison.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm not arguing with that because I hate
Like you have kids.
these. Yeah, I mean the idea, and I went off on a show. I think a couple shows we talked about shootings, but knock on wood, we haven't had to talk about one in a while.
I think.
But I went off on that one, and it's mainly because Antwan. I'm sorry, Trey, but I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, almost both ages, and I mean that was one of the reasons we picked the school we're at, is because they have armed security, which is sad that we even have to worry about.
Yeah.
They have this bulletproof plexiglass type shit between the halls and the classrooms. I mean, I'm thinking about this for a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Trey.
And I don't want to upset you because I don't have kids, but I think intent.
He's like, I don't have kids, so fuck them.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, so if he intent has a lot to do with sentencing, I believe. So I get, and he may be full of
how do
shit.
you prove it?
Exactly. He may be absolutely full of shit. If he had something written down, I'm going to go shoot up this school. Well, then he's full of shit. If there's no, because don't they? Most of them have. Okay, here's their plan. That's what they always say after the school shooting. They go
Sometimes,
out.
I don't know.
And they read. He had all these intentions and shit like this.
What kind of plan is that, though?
Well, that's
go
what I'm
in
saying.
and shoot a school.
But maybe he didn't have a plan. Maybe he's. I guess intent, I think, has a lot to do with the sentencing piece of it. If he came in, it was a 1-story building. He shot up in the air, hit the roof, whatever. Okay, shitty. But does it deserve 20 years in prison?
See, that's interesting. You're getting into logistics of like where the shots were ended up. What I'm saying is that he could also sit there before and go, I'm going to write down in my journal, or whatever the fuck was 2004 in your whatever, that I'm going to aim over their heads because I want to be killed.
Right.
In case he went to court.
And
he could easily just write that and not mean it.
Okay, and then another thing I'd be interested to know is the teachers that were in the room at the time.
The break room.
Just kind of see what kind of oh shit, what am I trying to say? What kind of mannerisms are, you could tell if he was scared. You could tell if he was coming in there with intent to, I'm gonna fucking shoot you, or if he was just coming in not handling the gun and shot above somebody, and so you should be able to tell the intention of somebody.
He was like, yeah, I was like aiming at people. I was like, just like commanding the gun around. Like he was.
So he was
large and in charge. And something I'll also add is
that's Trey's nickname on the weekends.
Large and in charge. Something I'll also add is like, no, he did not physically murder anyone, but those people will have to live with that trauma for the rest of their lives. And I think that he should have to.
I wasn't defending him.
I'm just saying. I'm adding to my thought on that.
I don't think you and I can disagree, obviously, and we will on some of these other points, I'm sure. Yeah. But on this one, I don't think life. I mean, I think life's a little ridiculous because you didn't technically kill anybody. And I think life is reserved for the really special people. You know what I mean?
But I don't know. Where Antwan's going with that? Maybe
Trey interrupted. Well, how about that? Trey interrupted me for once. This is great.
Maybe, and we always talk about how do we deter these idiots from coming into a school with a fucking gun? Maybe that's. No matter the age, it's life in fucking prison.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So maybe that's a good idea because having armed security guards is not deterring them. So why not?
Well, but armed security isn't at every school either,
right? But if you walk in with a gun, regardless of what your intentions are, boom, life in prison. Maybe that's something that will deter people. I don't know.
I love how excited he is tonight. He's fired up, isn't he, Antwan? But I agree, and it's very similar to my opinion of gun laws is not to let's collect all the guns. It's just stricter punishments.
Right.
Yeah.
But
they're not going to get rid of all. There's 350 million guys. Give me a break.
But honestly, I don't know.
Stricter punishments.
But honestly, I don't know if stricter punishment is going to do anything too, because these people.
Illegal.
If you have the mindset, I'm going to go in and shoot up a school. Life in prison, probably you don't give a shit about that.
Well, but at least we'd get rid of them.
In this case, you might not want to try to make it out. You're hoping the cop is going to kill you or whatever the fuck it is.
To be shot.
So maybe life in prison. I don't give a shit. So I don't know if it'll deter them, but why not?
Well, this is.
It may make them think twice, maybe. So I don't know.
Well, this is awesome because I have like 5 topics about this guy to get to, and that was just one of them. And let's move forward what I'm saying is that we thought this was going to be good, and I think this is a very interesting case because intent just alone. How do you prove intent? You can't. I mean, he could say one thing easily. He could have planned it and written it down. And
that's where we got to rely on the judicial system.
But I'm saying,
without reasonable doubt.
How do you prove it? So
exactly, if you're not there, you don't know. So
how does he get sentenced to only 20 years because they go, we believe him?
Well, maybe they looked at the fact that, hey, to your point,
bullets in the ceiling.
Well, bringing a gun into the school, maybe they thought, okay, let's give him this amount of time just for that alone.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, and maybe somebody came up on the witness stand and said, well, he's fumbling around with it. I don't think he understood how to handle it. So maybe.
Does that matter though?
Well, I mean, he may not have realized what the fuck he was doing,
Does that matter though?
Absolutely. I think it does.
He was still trying to do something with a gun.
But it could be the fact where, it's recklessness. More recklessness than intent to kill people.
Right.
He was stupid. He brought a gun to school. Dumb move on his part. He didn't know how to handle it. Shot into the fucking air. Okay. Now we're going to make an example. 20 years.
I see what you're saying.
So.
Real fast. Is there a sentence number that would have sufficed other than life? Because I would say 20 years would put him at 36. And I think that's too young. I think 30 years would put him at 46, and then he could get out, and he's lost pretty much most of his prime youth years. So I would go 30 to 40 years, and you're saying life. What would you do, Trey?
Well, I want to know.
Are you still on the 20? So, we're not going to find out his fucking intent. I'm just kidding.
Here's what I want to know. What's the point of giving him 10 more years in prison? Does that make him more of an asshole when he comes out? I mean, does that really help society giving him 10 more years?
It's not about that. It's about punishment. It's about this guy. If this guy only got 20, then other people are going to go, oh, I only got 20. And
yeah, but so again, going back to the fact that whatever happened in that school, maybe they thought 20 years would be nice to, okay, this is a punishment. hopefully he'll be a better person when he comes out.
You're saying that, right? And that's
You
what
add
happened.
another 10 years.
17 years later, they
Does
thought
that make him more of an asshole when he comes out? You know, he could do more damage. You know, so I don't know.
Or does he change at all, and he's out 10 years sooner and can be an asshole right away?
That's true too. Yeah.
So that's my thought.
Because prison is not somewhere where you go, okay,
No.
I'm going to be a better person now when I get out.
Well, I'm going to ask you to watch some of these if you haven't. Some of his videos. He's either a really good actor or whatever. He got me a little bit going. I kind of like what you're doing. I didn't like what you did, obviously, but what you're doing now is you're trying to do good with your lessons learned.
Okay.
And that's kind of the cliched response is that he'll say, I want to help now. I want to make sure this doesn't happen. And so and then we'll get to the other stuff in a second. But that's kind of where I'm at is, you know, you listen to him and you go, oh, 20, it's still a long ass time. 17 years when you're a 16-year-old, you know, again, there's a lot of other stuff. But now that's the point. He's working at institutions. He's working at a place called Community Connections Drop-In Center, which is like for the poor and for children that are having difficulties in life. And he's trying to motivate people that have like-mindedness. And the second point, people are really pissed, Antwan, and you mentioned this. And Trey and I are like talking, wait, Antwan's not even here. So I want you to talk. People are really angry that he has a platform at all. Mm-hmm. Should he be like, I guess I should say our ex-president, when they just kind of said, you don't get a platform anymore.
Platform.
Yeah. Should every social media, everything say this kid, or now this man.
Actually, yeah, if you're a sex offender, a murderer, a school shooter.
You get no platform.
No, you can have one, but it's just a registered school shooter.
Oh.
Registered sex offender.
Trey, what do you think of that? Like having a little badge on your...
Yeah, I think, I mean...
that's interesting.
But you know what I'm scared of?
What?
I'm scared of those sick assholes that are going to follow him because he's a fucking predator.
Okay.
Because he's got that platform like that. But what sucks is the reason he's got a platform is people are following him his ass, you know? So if nobody follows him, guess what? He doesn't talk anymore, right?
This platform apparently, though, is for good.
But I'm seeing through that.
Okay. Oh, I like this. We're going to get to that. Go ahead. So we're talking about platform. My whole point is people that are pissed that he has a following. But what if that following, I wrote down, what if that following is for good? So he has, how many people do you say?
Like over
250,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what if he literally is sitting there saying, you know what? I'm trying to help you not feel this way. Don't go through with it. He's doing all these motivational speaking. That's not good.
I think it's performative. I don't think he should have a... At first, I was like, you know what? Because I thought about this a lot today. I just thought to myself, you know what?
You prep more than Trey for the show.
Well, I just thought to myself, you know what? Maybe a good way to deter people from doing this in the future is to have someone who like did it and like went through it, be like, hey, maybe don't. But his attitude about it is just not. He is not sorry enough.
Oh, you don't see sorrow in his words.
No, not at all. Oh. Based off of how he was saying things, I was like, you're not that sorry.
A minute now, I have to go back and rewatch it because that's interesting to me. Like I like that. So when you heard me just say that, I was listening and I felt this, this kind of, and I get it because it was. The way it was delivered, it wasn't this like he wasn't bawling and he wasn't whatever, but he was a little choked up at times. And you're saying that could easily be.
Well, no, for me, it was the words he used, and I was like that.
Oh, well, one of those we can go to. I'll skip around a little bit. Is people are upset that he was calling them his classmates and not his victims. So if you've truly learned after 17 years in prison and you come out, and you're giving speeches, you should be using the word victim instead of classmates because classmates implies equal.
You're all friends and buddy.
And I don't know if I'm victim? I don't know because of it. Not just anybody that maybe the guns hit, emotional, scarred, trauma.
How old were these kids again? You said teenagers?
High school.
Okay. I was about to say because I'm wondering if they were too young to realize what the fuck was going on too. But I guess teenagers.
They're like 6. Cool, that guy's a cowboy.
But again,
and
I guess I keep going back to how the scenario happened. Like, did he come in pointing the gun at the students? Yeah. And he was basically threatening.
But is there a scenario that it's okay to bring a gun in?
We live in Texas. So, I mean, I walk into a supermarket and I see, like, so today I was pumping gas before I came over here. Security guy got out. He had a gun on his hip, just a security guard.
Different.
But I'm just saying.
Carrier.
But in Texas, we see guns all the time. Mm-hmm. So if he walks in with a fucking shotgun, I get it. He's walking in with a gun, right? Yeah. Okay, I get it. But as long as he's not pointing at me, I see somebody walking around with a shotgun in Texas, I'm probably not going to be too, oh my God, he's walking in with a gun. Let me go hide.
I guarantee you, if I fired a shotgun
I get
over
that.
your head,
I get that part of it.
It's going to be pointed at you.
But also, if someone just has a gun in their head, they're just like walking around like, oh.
Yeah.
But like, and again, did he fumble around with it? Did he come in pointing and threatening people and then shot up in the air? I guess I'm trying to understand.
But what is that? But it's still
because
it's not a good thing.
Because I guess I wouldn't consider myself a victim if some dumbass kid walk in with a shotgun, accidentally fumbles around, shoots it up in the air. It would scare the shit out of me, but I wouldn't consider myself a victim, thinking, "Oh my God, I could have almost died." That's where I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, he was being very purposeful with his actions that day.
That's what it seems to be, and he claims that too. That he was purposeful, But I get what you're saying. My response to that is that there are, and whether or not, and I give people a hard time sometimes about being too much of a weenie, or everybody's offended by everything, and I hate that. But if you're in a school like that and you're 16 and 14, 15, 16, whatever, and what they're talking about is that you come in and you feel like I could have died if he had turned and shot me. Because that is closer than most people will ever get if he was like literally in the same space, not maybe this small in our studio, but and then all of a sudden you have to live with that, and you're always maybe looking around, and so victim can be emotional and mental as well, in my opinion. And again, I'm definitely putting your face on for that expression. I agree with you. I think, okay, it's time to move on from it. You talk to somebody, a therapist, if you need it. But okay, he didn't kill anybody. Whatever, like you said, he could have been. But that's. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what's happening, Antwan. Right? He's getting. People are just like, quit calling them your classmates. Your classmates are there for each other, or your classmates are friends, and
gotcha.
And these aren't your friends. Yeah. So you've made it clear that you think that they,
even though his intention wasn't there to come shoot his classmates.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
According to him.
Or his victims.
According to him.
Right.
Or his victims. Either way, his intent, according to him, was that he wasn't there to kill anybody except himself.
Right.
Okay. What do you think? I guess.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, what do you think? And I didn't even ask you a question. What do you think about the question I did not ask you? We'll move on from the platform thing, because you think absolutely not, no way, whatever, even if it's for good. And I don't know, Trey.
Who makes that judgment then? If he doesn't deserve a platform, does everybody go through an interview process before I can get a Facebook page or Instagram page? How do we figure that out?
Yeah, that's all logistics.
Maybe that's kind of added to like the list of things you can't do once you're like a registered felon,
But the badge idea is very, very.
And I'm fine with the badge idea, but you know what? If people are going to follow him, that's the way to get him off the internet anyway.
Yeah.
If nobody follows him, then he has no message. He's
but what if people want to follow because they want to hear his message?
Right. Well, again, everybody's going to. I
didn't follow him just because I watched him, but
there's fucked up people everywhere that have messages. We don't follow them because maybe we don't know they're out there. But I guarantee if we searched sex offenders out there, I guarantee there's the same asshole talking about, hey, this is how you go do this or XYZ, whatever the case may be, is they're out there, So guess what? If you don't follow them, they don't have followers. Guess what? They're not going to be on there anymore. But
are you hinting that some of the people that follow him are still like-minded in the sense that they are also interested in school shootings,
or maybe they're just as much to blame for giving him a voice?
Well, that's what everybody's saying is, how can these people follow him?
There you go.
And I get that. Okay, fair enough.
But these same people that are griping, they're listening to him too, right?
Okay, right. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know.
They're griping about something, right?
Well, they know he has they know he has the amount of followers / subscribers.
Yeah.
And they know that much. That doesn't mean that they subscribed or followed him. So, and I get all that you're saying, and I love it, because this is the whole point. If all of us were like, he should get this and this and this, and let's move on. There's no conversation, but this is so interesting to me. And I'm avoiding moving on to the next topic. But I think everybody watching or listening is going to be like, oh, hell yeah, here we go. This is what it's like. I knew it was coming when I started reading. I knew that this was that just sounded bad anyway. Edit. And or not. I knew it was coming when I started reading this, and I said, okay, here we go. What am I going to say about this? I have to be careful, which we all do. And again, I don't want people, Antwan, to think that when we have you on this show, we have to bring this up. I do think that you're an intelligent man. I do think that, well, you're a lot of things, but I'll just stop there for
Spit it out.
for the boredom of our
I'm curious
watchers.
where this is going, damn it.
I think that
dark color.
The dark color. I don't want people to think that we have him on and we've got to all of a sudden jump on these race topics. But in this case, there are a lot of people that are of color. Is that the right way? Damn it, Trey's yelled at me before. He's like, that's not how you say it. Of black people who have come on and said, hey, a black man in this same situation gets way more than 20 years. This is, and what got me, Antwan, because before I told you how fired up I was about this one particular black woman that
was saying a lot of things.
She was going off. She said a lot of things, and I wrote them all down too. I was like, I got to write these down. Her name is Datura Joan. Joan is, by the way, I think it's Jones, but she put a Z on it to make it sound cool. But and I had my notes here somewhere, but I think it was this idea that people are looking for it. I feel like they're looking for something to they're saying that this is more of systemic racism. This is white privilege. I mean, we can't have anything that like you and I just had, or the three of us just had a conversation about this without anything to do with race.
Yeah.
At all. He came in, he's an asshole, he did this, he gets life. I'm like 30 or 40 years, which I don't think is that lenient, Antwan. It's not like I'm like, he's white, so I'm only going to give him 30 or 40 years. If he's black, then I agree with, like, it gets me so fired up. And this one woman that came on and that I looked at in response was just so adamant about oppression and how this is what we're still in, and we have such a long way to go still.
How did it get to that from a...
Well, that was the problem.
Because I'm assuming then Jon Romano is a white guy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did he shoot a black teacher?
No. The whole point
how did
is
it get into race?
The sentence was only 20 years, and what they're saying is that if it was that there are black men. Her point was that there are, and a lot of others too. I read there are a lot of black men, and I suppose women too, that are in prison for
like selling weed,
right? For non-violent crime.
Gotcha. Which I do have an example of that pulled up.
And if you, I'm glad, because my big comment to this woman was that you didn't provide me with any fucking example at all. You're spouting off without any.
She just went straight to race. If it was a black guy, it would have been.
She went to
worse.
it and didn't give me an example. I mean, I'm like, look, I guarantee you, there's nobody that went to jail for maybe a pound of weed in 2004 that's in there 20 years later. Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't imagine. Give me I'd love to hear your example.
So in that she jumps straight to race, and I kind of don't appreciate her doing that because I think it like takes away from like the broader point that like he did, in my opinion, serve too little of a sentence for like what he did or attempted to do. Where am I going with this? But she talks about how
not everyone can do this, Antwan. I'm kidding.
She talks about how if he was black, he probably would have gotten. If he was black, probably would have gotten like a larger or like a longer sentence,
right?
Given like the time.
That was her point.
And I don't have any. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never heard of a black school shooters. I don't really have any evidence to back that up.
I was about to ask.
So I don't have any statistics to back that up. To be honest,
these guys aren't making us look very good.
It does seem to be always white guys, doing this dumb shit.
So well, that's okay.
It's interesting. Why is it that these types of shooters, if you want to call everybody shooters, are white? And then you've got the nighttime gang stuff is black, more so than not.
Yeah.
And it's like it's very like it's part of it. Isn't that weird? It's like it's part of your ethnicity. Well, school shooters, it's in our blood. But in our blood over here is to be gang and just shoot people in the street.
Yeah.
It's so weird. When is the last black school shooter you've seen?
I've never heard of a black school
I
shooter.
mean, I've seen a couple mass shooters, but I think they were more like actually African or like Northern African.
Or like the DC sniper.
Yeah, the DC sniper. I think that's the only one I can think of, maybe.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting? It's very. Anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to
all good.
interrupt you.
But I was like, I don't think like that's not even a thing to my knowledge at this moment, you know, like a black school shooter. But she had kind of a point within her point that she didn't say. Actually, like I just kind of thought about it. But
one point within a point about
that I just
within
kinda
a
made up.
5-minute rant.
Yeah.
That she did.
But there are black people, and I don't know, this should not really include race because I think, I mean, I don't even think this should have anything to do with race, to be honest, because I don't know. Anyway, but
Take your time.
like, there are just people in prison who have done less, who have got more time in
All
prison.
right. Well,
I found an example
okay.
of a black man.
Perfect.
Who was given life without parole in 2019 for being in possession of 43.71 grams of marijuana.
That can't be true.
It is.
Is it really? Well,
Yes.
that's ridiculous.
What state? I'm curious.
Mississippi.
There you go.
Yeah.
They still have some issues.
And it happened.
Wait,
not
how
in
much?
Mississippi.
How much pot?
43.71 grams.
Well, duh. In that case, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but then there
It's
was
a lot of pot, but
there
it's
was
not
another
life in prison.
black man who was actually involved in like Desert Storm, like he served for the
Military.
yeah, whatever it's called. I'm joking. No, served in the military.
Whatever that shit is.
He was involved in Operation Desert Storm, and he ended up getting like life in prison for also being in possession of weed.
So you're saying there are a lot of drug.
Yeah, but mind
charges that
you,
are long
both of these people were habitual.
repeat offenders.
Hold on,
Something
What is
like
it?
that.
Yeah, habitual. Why can't I see it? Habitual offenders, pretty much. But the thing is, their offenses included like being like armed robbery, burglary, like just
Right,
burglary,
sure.
or being a felon in possession of a firearm, right?
Okay.
So when I add up being a felon in possession of a firearm, burglary, and being in possession of weed, and you're getting life in prison.
Yeah,
You
I mean
didn't-
that's extreme.
Exactly. But so I think her point, like she should have like provided a lot of detail when saying something that like pointed, I think. But it's not even just black people. There are people in prison for doing far less bad things who are serving more time
Yeah.
or who got sentenced to more time.
Well, and I guess my response to that is simple. It's about those fuck ups with the judicial system, and maybe it's not this guy's fault that they did that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like life in prison is ridiculous.
Well,
Maybe
no,
the 20 years for this guy was right, and this life in prison stuff. What the hell?
It's not his fault, but it's a testament to our judicial system not being at all
You
like.
just said it wasn't just black guys, though. You said it was other people too that have been in for far less and far longer.
Yeah.
So it's not about. It shouldn't be about race. Is my
Yeah, I
point.
said that.
Well, what I've heard more so it's not
Okay, so we agree. Let's talk it out.
it's not so much about race, but more so about money. If you're able to afford a good lawyer, you may be able to get the 20-year sentence.
I love
if you're not
Trey.
able to afford, you get the court-appointed lawyer because you can't afford a
Yeah.
lawyer. Guess what? You end up with fucking life in prison.
True.
You know.
But also,
Trey comes out of left field with this. I love it. Like what? I didn't even
That's
think
a
of
good
that.
point, though.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a testament to like our judicial system. It's like it's not like what's the word? It's not. There's no synergy
Right.
amongst states, which I guess states wise, bark, whatever. But it's just like it's really fucked up. Like I think it should be more in line and more in sync across like the states, and I also think that one guy shouldn't get life in prison for having this much weed over here and like 2 months for having this much weed over here.
Oh,
it's just
well,
like
this is a whole different
I
conversation.
no, but it's like
States' rights versus
yeah,
federal.
but that's it's a very when you really look at it, it's a very like deep and complicated and like nuanced
Absolutely.
issue.
Yeah, no, that's why I said, oh. Yeah,
But like
yeah.
I'm thinking it's just like I don't think that people well, when you compare it to this guy who got 20 years for like attempting murder pretty much to America's youth, he got 20 years, as opposed to like a drug lord's getting like that's a bad example because he's bad.
Yeah, the drug lords are that's a
like
little different.
some high school teenagers getting like for however many years for like more years for selling pot.
Trey, we have to be careful because some of the cartel are our listeners.
Sorry, but is what I'm saying making any sense? Like, is it translating?
It's making
And I would be
sense.
curious on some of these situations because you think you brought the gentleman in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you've got a jury of your peers. You know, how many backwoods, guys you have on there that are your peers?
None of it.
That,
That's true. Yeah, good point.
could sway a jury. And guess
Well,
what?
New-
fucks this guy.
New York,
so-
New York, though, that was interesting to me. That I think your New York State would be more of a,
Very
you're gonna
liberal.
get, you're gonna, and maybe that's what it is. Is a lot of the liberal views don't really like these long life type. They don't like the whole death penalty. They don't want life in prison. They want programs to help. I mean, and that's I think that's true. I'm not gonna.
Or-
I think that's true. I think there's a lot of we can rehabilitate these people.
Or, I mean, he had a good lawyer that sit there and say, look at this poor troubled kid. He walked in, he fumbled around with his gun. It went off. Bad decision on his part, but do we really want to punish him and ruin his life? And
I
this
see.
jury, maybe.
And Antoine's point, tell me if I'm wrong, is that none of that matters. You went into a school with our children with a shotgun and you fired it.
But how many jury members had kids?
I don't know.
But a lot of this shit plays into it, and
But
it's
should
unfortunate.
it?
It's unfortunate, but
Should it?
I mean, if you had me and you as jury members, you're going to be a little bit more.
I lied, Antoine. I'm not going to lie to you. I tell them I'm racist, and then they're like, "All right, you can go home."
Yeah, you're going to sit there and say, "Send this motherfucker
like,
to
yeah,
prison,"
we don't want it.
forever.
Yeah,
On my side, I'm maybe looking at the fact, well, this, that, and the other. It wasn't his intent. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You're looking at the fact my kid could have been in there. Fuck him.
Sure.
Send him away. So
Well,
anyway,
and there's a lot of the details that,
Yeah.
of course, we don't know exactly. I mean, it's just kind of a general thing, and then that's why I brought the race thing in, because this lovely young woman who yelled at anybody white was she just brought up these points, and it's just like, can we talk about the issue versus bringing this whole other systemic stuff? If you want to talk about that, fine, but not now.
Yeah, I heavily disagree with her decision to do that because I feel like it muddled what could have been a great point. Maybe, I don't know what she had planned after that.
She went off. I've got it.
Talking about traveling for some reason.
By the way, yeah. By the way, I found my notes.
Okay.
She talked about traveling like no. First off, no other country thinks the way we do. Which how does she know? She should know it. Come on.
where's she from?
Who told,
Right, exactly.
Did he tell you that?
Does it say where she's from? I mean, is
It
she?
doesn't say.
Is it just a random person that went on
It
a
was
rant?
a response. Yeah.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
honestly, nobody of like whatever. She said that she couldn't focus all day because she couldn't figure out why she was having issues.
The visceral reaction that she was having.
But it was because it was trauma, and so she brought up and this is where I think you and I are probably gonna maybe have to yell at each other, because people like to call me right wing, and I don't believe I'm full fledged right wing. I have some right. We won't go through this again, right, Antoine?
Yeah.
I'm a way bad joke.
Move forward.
I'm independent, lean right, admittedly, politically. Kyle Rittenhouse, remember?
Oh, that
So she
guy,
talks about
yeah.
him, and she said she was a protester at the shooting, the attack. Well, there are a lot of people, including myself, that believe that Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself, whether he should or shouldn't have had that gun or what type of gun it was. And
Hold
all
on,
that.
was this the one
This
that
was-
was in the during a
During a
protest?
protest, and he was knocked down, and then he pulled his gun out and defended as people came at him with skateboards. Wasn't it skateboards? And people are going, well, you didn't have to shoot these people, but you don't know exactly what's going to happen, because in a lot of these protests, people were beaten to death, not on purpose necessarily, but if you got 5 guys coming at you and you have a gun, that's the argument. And I think that's where I think a lot of our youth, and I include Antwan in our youth,
Right.
believe that was overboard, and that he didn't need to do it, and that he is a killer. And people like myself looked at it more of, okay, he's allowed to do it. If he's not, then we need to fix the system and the laws, because that's his right to defend himself. It is, whether you agree with guns or not. So when she brought him up and she was saying that she was at the shooting of the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting, well, that's in the eye of the beholder. So she went right there, and then she claimed white privilege, systemic oppression. She said black, brown get the big sentences for the minor crimes only. Again, that's a very blanket statement.
Yeah.
And then she's claiming to be very anti-gun, but in our movies show us guns and we listen to guns and whatever. And but she's not addressing other gun issues again. And I'll say it: black neighborhoods in these urban areas that we gotta figure out how to help. She didn't want to bring that up. Only the guy that shot a shotgun and didn't kill anybody. And that's what bothers me, is that let's talk about it all.
Yeah.
So that's it. So those are my notes, Antwan, about this woman, and that's why it got me fired up. So I don't know. What do you think about Kyle Rittenhouse? Should we even go there?
I don't know.
I mean, it's very how many years ago, but whatever.
Yeah. To be honest, it's like, you think it's self-defense. I think that something less could have easily have set him off and like gotten him to do.
Okay, so you think that there's more there than just.
I don't think that he went there and was going to immediately start like just blasting people, just like shooting up, right?
It was more than just carrying.
Yeah, but I do think that he was looking for any excuse to like shoot people,
Fair
like
enough.
shoot it up. But I think that he got a pretty big one, I guess. So that's my thought on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think that.
I think Trey's looking up the Kyle Rittenhouse story.
Yeah. But I don't. I mean, because like if I'm remembering correctly, Kyle Rittenhouse, very like staunch, like, you know, red pill person, like conservative, like probably anti.
I mean, gun guy and
this, what was the protest?
he's
for?
young. He's young.
The protest was
college age student. Yeah.
no, the protest. What was it?
Oh, the protest.
Yeah, it was
I just see civil unrest in Kenosha.
I could have
for,
sworn it was.
was it BLM?
Wisconsin.
I thought it was BLM.
Yeah, but like so it's like, it looks fishy to me, because why are you, as someone who is probably against this protest, going to this protest?
Well, for the sake of my argument, I don't think it was BLM.
I mean, I'm seeing pictures of him walking.
Yeah, he's
behind
walking around
with rifles and stuff like that. So what was his point in?
Man, that's the
like,
point.
I'm like,
I need to know what that protest.
I'm like, why were you
Our fault
there?
for not knowing the protest.
Well, yeah, I'm like, just like, why were you like?
Hopefully there are hundreds of people right now that are watching / listening going and yelling out which protest it was, but that doesn't help us.
I think our personal LexisNexis.
We need to do live shows so we can have callers tell us what stupid idiots we are.
But yeah, I believe it was like something. I remember Kenosha. I remember that.
Right.
Yeah. But like, it's just why. It's like, if you're so against it, why are you there with your gun? Unless you are going there.
Okay, here's the story. Yeah. Sorry.
Trey's just like, who cares what anybody's saying?
I'm so sorry.
All right, real fast, because we gotta.
It just says he armed himself with a rifle on a night of unrest in Kenosha, sparked by the police shooting of Jacob Blake, a 29-year-old black man who was left paralyzed after the encounter with a white officer.
Yeah, it was one of the and that, you know, there were kind of there's a line of the police shooting ones that happen.
It basically makes him. So what he's saying is that he went there. He testified he intended to act as a medic and help protect private property, which is what he was going over there
because
for.
that was happening a little bit. People were. Their homes were being, and then they stepped out on their porch and they said, "Don't come here. I've got a gun." And it just became a fucking.
Did he
cluster.
provide medical aid to the people that he shot?
Well, that's a good.
That's a great question.
I don't think I can argue with that, Trey.
But I mean, you're 18 years old. You know what kind of, I don't know. That just
and that's a whole, again. I always say this, it's a whole different topic. I mean, we can talk about it at some point, but the reason I brought it up is because she brought this woman, lovely woman, that I think she and I should have lunch and figure this whole thing out. But she brought that up very fast. That was her response, was, I was a protester, so I understand trauma and how that can make me a mental victim.
But also, I think she did own up to the fact that she was just protest hopping.
She
did say
did.
that.
Okay, fair enough. She's like, I think I realized I went to one too many protests.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
When this guy finally shot, and she's like, I'm going to stay away from some protests for a while. But she admitted she was like a professional protester.
Gotcha.
Good for her. No, she
Those are
said,
great
and there was
thoughts.
one other thing she said. I think she was talking about movies and everybody thinking guns. And I think,
Yeah.
I don't totally agree with the fact that I think we're adults and we should be able to handle movies with violence. Okay, whatever.
Right.
But at the same time, she did make one point that I will give her credit for. And I'm sure that
Is this one?
the lovely Datura, I think is her name,
Yeah.
will appreciate my comment. I do agree that it has become so natural to see guns. It's so natural that that's the response because of movies, because of action films and your boy Jason Statham. These things where he's guns everywhere, guns. I mean, that's the solution. Even James Bond or whatever.
Yeah.
Even some movies that are supposed to be more for younger people. Guns are there. Even
Nerf guns.
Transformers. My kid is now into Transformers. They're shooting laser guns. It's just it's become ingrained unintentionally. Does that mean that everybody shouldn't be able to handle that? I mean, there's a very small percentage that can't handle it.
Yeah.
I did air quotes for people that aren't watching. What do you think? I mean, is that true about our society? Do we need to lessen the guns in entertainment?
It kind of like makes you think, why have we society normalized using weapons to murder people? And I think it's like, oh, I'm defending myself, but also it's just like, you're defending yourself from someone else who has a gun. It's just like, so why have we like just kind of naturalized and perpetuated and like glamorized romanticized violence in such a way? It's kind of like the whole like thing, like I call them military propaganda movies.
Oh.
Movies that movies that deal with like wars in other countries, yada yada yada. Bark. It's just like, why have we just
That's an interesting topic because I know so many people right now that are like, oh,
mind you, my dad was in the Marine Corps. I have a lot of respect for our armed forces. I do, but that's like a very serious
but that's the
thing.
point. I like that-
don't think that
conversation.
we should be like, yeah, let's go like to war and let's
like what was
romanticize
the
this.
movie where they got Osama?
I have no idea.
There was a movie where they got Osama and everybody's just like, fuck yeah, in the theater, and they all cheered and like.
But that's not like a good, like that. He was a terrorist and people died trying to, go and get him subdued.
Yeah.
This is a terrible thing. We should not be celebrating and romanticizing this. Like, this is a very serious and thing. And I think it's like, mind you, my dad, I don't, unless he's lying, I don't think he actually like went to combat. I think he was just more like kind of a mechanic in the Marine Corps or whatever.
Well, but look, you need every.
No, I mean, he's still,
Even the
he
guy-
served his country.
Look, the guy that scoops the soup is still in the middle. He's important.
He served his country, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I think
much
it's
respect
like,
to your dad. By
it's like if my dad was one of the men who like went to into combat and like did die, and people were like, yeah, I'm like, I'd kind of like, fuck you, like I'm fatherless now.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So for all the people that have
don't romanticize
the
people's deaths like this.
the people
like,
that we've lost,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're sitting
I
there.
feel like it's disrespectful. Like I don't know.
Oh, I get that.
And it's the same people sitting at home on their asses, not serving the country.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and I'm in the middle of that, Antwan. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm the guy that respects and cheers on our military, but also is the guy sitting at home.
yeah.
I can't imagine being in the military. That's why I was telling Trey last show. We did a quick story about a guy that's 34 years old, served in the Marines, helicopter pilot. Now he kickoff specialist for the University of Virginia. That was his dream. And I'm going, for as much as I love this story, I feel like an asshole now because I haven't done anything like this guy. I mean, this guy went and served his country, whatever else. So I get it, and it would really upset me if I had lost somebody in one of those.
Yeah, I mean, I
wars.
personally haven't, but if I'd be like, damn, that's kind of annoying.
And that's a
Like,
good
you're sitting
point.
Here, like, yeah.
And I may be a loss here. Let me backtrack a little bit because it seems like you're talking about.
Who else back in Trey?
We have no organization.
I'm trying to figure out
any
the
of
whole
this.
movie topic, how you're going that angle as far as, okay, I get, there's biography movies that are of real life shit,
Yeah.
but then there's fantasy movies like fucking Transformers.
Some people can't.
I'm going there to
separate
be
the two.
entertained. I'm not going in there to going, God, I can't wait to shoot a fucking
don't
gun
have a
like
laser
that
gun?
away over there,
Yeah.
So I guess, I I don't understand why that's an issue.
But not everybody
if you're
has
going to a movie to be entertained.
the brain capacity to handle it if it's just overloaded with that.
Don't see
That's
the
how to
movie
handle
then.
it. Well, but
Why
they
are you
don't,
going to see the movie?
People don't know that they have issues.
Well, I mean, if you know, back in the day when I went, I forgot what it was called. I went and saw a Tupac movie, and I know a long time ago. I don't even know where I'm going with
But
this.
it's just the fact that that's what he used is an example here.
That was the
Go ahead.
war.
But I mean, you're going there, and you know that there's going to be gang violence in the movie. You know, there's going to be, you know, people that hate white people in the movie because, you know, it's predominantly black cast.
Yeah, correct.
You know, I'm going there to be entertained. You know, I'm not going in there thinking, oh my God, there's going to be an uprising of black people that are going to beat the shit out of me after they watch this movie.
But
you
it's
know?
more about just the familiarity with guns, that it's just the norm. Like in that movie or any movie, or like I said, in Transformers, in whatever. It's
I think they're
the normalcy of having guns as just.
It's like, why are we as society like entertained by just like pure violence and aggression and blood splatter and murder?
Which we are.
Like,
It's just like
we
that's
can't
just like
argue
football
that.
being a popular sport. We love the impact. We love the violence of it. We love the speed and stuff like that. I mean, why do we watch football? We like to see somebody's head get knocked the fuck off.
I'm not saying it's bad.
You know,
it just makes you.
Why do you watch
question.
hockey? You know,
Not
hockey,
for that. I watch it for the skill
They don't
of the
fucking
sport.
hold hands
No,
down.
I was at hockey
but
for
you
the,
enjoy
for
the
the
hits.
fights that happened.
You
See,
enjoy the speed. You
a lot of
enjoy the
people,
hits.
a lot of people do. I don't watch it for fighting.
But
and
I'm
all
just
that.
saying, you enjoy the speed of it, the contact. I mean, these guys.
But none of that has to do with guns that kill people.
But I'm just saying, it's the guns that you're watching on movies is entertainment. You know, if you go in,
Trey,
I'm gonna learn how to
I'm
fucking
with you.
kill people.
I'm with you.
You know,
I'm just saying
these
that
people need to chill the fuck out. Go see a movie for entertainment
Trey.
of it. So, or don't go see the
This
movie.
is the most I've ever seen out of Trey.
I know, right?
Like, period.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm happy. And
I just don't understand some of these fucking arguments these people bring up. You know, it's like, come on. Anyway,
This pre-workout,
sorry.
extra pre-workout tonight.
Let me go back and sleep.
No. Back to sleep. I didn't see. Was it when we were talking earlier?
Oh yeah. No, I
I-
agree. I don't think it's like no. I'm not like denying.
But not everybody. Go ahead.
No, I'm like well, their point is like this is bad. I don't think it's bad personally. I just think it does make you think like, why are we so fascinated by this? Like, why
Right.
do we like find this so entertaining? I don't know.
I just think it's the norm. I don't think people are necessarily fascinated by it. I just think it's become the norm. You're not surprised to see somebody with a gun in a movie.
No, and I'm not. And
that's my
I
point,
live in
but-
Texas.
but
I'm not
some people-
surprised to see somebody walking around with a fucking gun. You know.
But we have how many billions of people in this world? And some of them have mental issues,
Right.
That don't know that it's going to affect them that way.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, and that's my point. I'm not. Look, you're saying you're definitely on the. We don't need to lessen the amount of guns in the movies because you think it's entertainment.
Right.
And I'm with you for the most part. I just think we need to be aware that there are people that are going to be affected by it, unfortunately.
I don't understand.
But how do you monitor it? How do you monitor
I mean,
it?
you see rape in there. Does the rape rate go up when a movie that has rape in it?
Maybe.
I mean, hell, I don't know.
Maybe.
So, I mean, if you're going into a movie knowing you're going to be affected by guns, guess what? Don't go see an action movie then, you know?
But some people don't know they're going to be affected by it. And then they leave the theater and they go, would people still go to theaters, by the way? I haven't been to a movie theater in a long time.
At the point, it's just like,
Antoine, is that a thing for young people? Do you go see a movie at the theater?
you know what? I thought.
Or is it all streamed?
I was at the movie like a month and a half ago, and I thought that there was a shooter in the movie because of the way he was acting, the way he was dressed.
Oh,
It's like a
shit.
whole thing. Yeah, it was actually very scary.
And that's scary.
I ended up leaving. So yeah,
I thought that too. And that's what's so sad is that these things happen and you start looking around.
like time to go. Anyway, like long story.
You're like, this movie's not that good anyway.
Yeah,
I'm fucking out
The
of
movie
here.
hadn't even started yet, but we ended up leaving.
These previews suck.
Yeah.
I'm out.
What movie was it? Do you remember? I'm just saying it might talk to the type of crowd that was there. For
My
the movie.
Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
Okay,
Oh.
then no, I can't see some dumbass going in there.
Lion King
There were a
4.
total of 9 people in the theater, including the alleged shooter.
Wait.
He had a trench coat on with a gun in his hand.
Most importantly, there's a Big Fat Greek Wedding 2
I haven't seen
in
the
order
first-
to get to 3?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We like the Greeks. We have some
Anyway,
Greek lists.
Yeah.
But it's just like, for example, this is a bad example. Straight people who hate gay marriage, they're not going to gay weddings, but they know that gay weddings are happening.
Sure.
They're upset by it.
Okay.
Similar to like, you don't like guns in movies, you're not going to go see it, but you know what's happening, so you're upset by it. Not saying that they should be upset by it or that they shouldn't be. I don't even know. That's you to you.
This is some deep shit. I'm trying to follow. Are you following this?
Yeah, I understand where you're going.
Well,
with
like
it. Yeah.
parallels, you know?
Yeah.
Like you do. It's like it's like just because you're not involved doesn't mean like you don't have the right to be. Just because you're not involved doesn't mean that you can't be upset, you know?
Do you think that someone would go to a movie, both of you, and see a movie that a character inspires him or her, and I love how I roll my eyes at the her. How many shooters have been hers? And something inspires that person in the movie, and they walk out of there going, "Oh man, I want to do that." And it's bad, it's violent, it's whatever. And before they went into that movie, they hadn't really. Do you think that exists? Or am I being overly?
Not in like not in the masses.
But all it takes is a couple of shooters.
Yeah, but I do think there are people who are so just like predisposed to be influenced in like a negative way that probably does happen to them. They're like, oh, I just saw that guy run over that woman for no reason. Time to go get in the car.
Yeah,
like, you know.
So say a woman that's walking across flips him off for some reason. And he's like, I mean, he just mows her down because he.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's common, but again, all it takes
is one.
Is a couple,
Yeah.
or one, or two or three. And I think that's this woman. Again, my friend Datura. Her argument in this case was that is too normalized, and that this is causing all these issues. And whatever. And again, Trey's response was not.
I think people
Datura and Trey do not agree.
Trey said, Datura, meet me outside.
Yeah, Datura. Yeah.
I just think that the mental.
I have not seen this passion in Trey. This is great.
The people
Do a 4-hour show.
mentally fucking weak these days, and I don't know where we started going that direction. And I've got my own issues with anxiety and stuff like that, but it just seems like people are just so mentally weak now that they're just looking for excuses to do something shitty and then blaming it on something. Like, when they blame it on music and Marilyn Manson and all this bullshit.
Linkin Park was the big one back in the 90s.
So it's like I think the mental state of America these days is just going downhill. And they're just looking for dumb shit to blame their stuff on.
And do you think that the age, like the teenage age, the 15, 16, 17 is where it hits the hardest? That seems to be where a lot of these school shooters, maybe they wait till they're 19, but that's when it affects them. Bullying, that whole. I mean, when I was a kid, people were throwing people in the toilets and knocking them up against the wall, and there wasn't a lot of school shootings happening.
And
Right.
I'll also say,
So what's the
someone
difference?
else made a comment, and she was like, when I was 15 and 16, I was a very angsty teen, but you know what I didn't do? Shit up at school.
Right. And that's a good point now that we brought it up, is that, you're only 22. So you were in high school like
Not that long ago.
I mean,
not that long ago.
I was bullied in junior high at some point.
You were?
Yeah.
Trey.
I mean, it was by a guy that was, driving to school at the time. But
He was a 6-year senior. Yeah.
And so again, you go through these fights.
Wait, I just got that. He was driving to middle school.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that was the joke, is he failed over and over.
Yeah.
And over.
So obviously he was bigger than everybody else. He was an idiot. Anyway.
Take it easy.
But it just baffles me these days that I was bullied on social media. They said something bad.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Get the fuck off social media. I don't understand that.
If you can't handle it, then
get off social media.
I agree.
If you're not if you're not comfortable around guns, don't go see an action movie.
Problem is nobody talks to each other, so it's all social media.
Right. And that's
My 13-year-old was bullied on social media means that, because that 13-year-old's not talking in person.
My rule about that is, if someone's on social media, like if you're on Instagram and someone comments, "Hey, go kill yourself," you know what you say? Say it back. Bully them back. Honestly,
I agree.
Or just delete the fucking comment.
Or
and move on with your life.
like, this is a piece of shit.
And I'll be honest with you, I think I'm more afraid when it comes to guns, me handling a gun on my own.
Me too.
And I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be funny. It's just that I'm not comfortable with guns myself. If I've been around friends that carry guns, show me their guns. Okay, well, cool. I see guns, no big deal. But you put a gun in my hand.
They show you
Yeah.
Never mind.
They put a gun in my hand, I feel more nervous because, what if I drop it? What if I accidentally hit something that I shouldn't have and it goes off?
But see, that's you overanalyzing, which is not a bad thing when it comes to guns.
But I don't handle guns, so I'm not comfortable with guns,
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But, it's just like...
Yeah, look, anybody that's listened or watched the show doesn't need to know where we're going with anything. We'll
end up somewhere, damn it.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is a good time to kind of move on to the next, because I feel like we could sit here and look, Trey won't. I think you would. We could do like a 4-hour show, Antwan. But we should move
need
forward.
a more comfortable chair if we're doing
Yeah, Trey doesn't like my chairs. I know they're not the best, right, for comfort. But when you have a wife that looks for more aesthetic, I say that right? Mm-hmm. More visual, delight.
But how often is she in here?
She's never in here.
Okay, then who gives a shit on her opinion about chairs in here?
This is why Trey's divorced. And I'm kidding. You're right. You're very right. In my old office,
I want to see a recliner in here.
In my old office, I had a big recliner, and it was glorious.
He wants a lazy boy.
He wants a lazy boy. But then where would Antwan sit? I'm not going to give him a fold out because he's our guest.
You get a 2-seat lazy boy.
2-seat lazy boy.
Me and Antwan will hang out together.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you guys were just chilling in a lazy boy during the show?
Now that we have
during the
cameras
show,
now.
I have a mic coming from both angles, and you guys are just like, hey. Like just the lazy boy. Yeah. So this is a great topic. I think that it's something that I'm going to think about and I'm going to keep an eye on. And the next time you come back, because I think we've proven we're going to keep inviting you back, Antwan. We can go further with it or talk more about more the specifics, whether it's the gun issue or the Rittenhouse issue or the whatever. But man, this one incident brought up all sorts of points. So I'm hoping we covered it enough with Jon Romano. And I don't know. I'm gonna look at some more stuff with Jon Romano. You should too. And just see. You're ruthless. You're like fucking life sentence.
Right.
I'm in the middle. I'm kind of like dipshit. 20 years, 17 years, not enough. I don't know where you're at. You still want intent, and I don't know how we're gonna get that. But you're
honestly, I like to debate, and so.
So your whole thing, all of a sudden he comes out and he's like, I'm for life. I'll be
honest. Yeah, I'll be honest. Antwan's idea, if you walk into a school with a fucking gun, no matter your intent, go to fucking prison for life.
Sure.
Maybe that deters them. Maybe that doesn't. But
either way, but I think we've hit on it enough for tonight. But I think I'm glad you brought it up.
I have decided that I'm going to be celibate to a point.
Really?
Yes, to a point.
Look, fuck guns and all these other topics. This is where it's at. Okay, so you want to be celibate
to a point.
To a point.
Yeah.
But
trying to figure out what that point is.
Yeah. What brought that on?
Well,
And then I swear we have to move on to this other topic.
The last time I was, in that way with someone was like back in May, and I was
what way? I'm joking. Go ahead.
Like relationship or
relationship or just physical?
Just like the last time I hooked up with someone, it was like back in May,
last time you had relations.
Yeah.
There you go. You like that,
Antwan? That is a dry spell.
Yeah. When was it? Wait. What was the date?
Back in May, right? But after that, I was like,
fair enough. Yeah.
The next time,
May of 2023.
Shut the fuck up, Ryan. Sorry, Antwan.
Wow. Oh Trey, look, Trey's fired up tonight.
Antwan is trying to open up. Shut the fuck up for a minute.
But he's never gotten this fired up. Sometimes you can just look and he's annoyed. But
I'm sorry, Antwan.
He's never yelled at me. I'm going to be quiet. Thank you, Trey. Yeah. I think that's what I needed.
There you go.
Go ahead, Antwan.
No, but it was back. It was back you know what? Fuck you. No.
There we go.
Okay, seriously.
It was back in May. After that, I was like, you know what? The next time I give myself, because I'm not gonna lie, being with me is a privilege. In any way, whether it's friendship or relationship, romantically or even physically, like that is a privilege. I'm great at what I do. I've gotten rave reviews like on my Yelp. It's amazing. 5 stars.
You're on Yelp just for you.
Yeah. No, but I feel like I'm I'm a very valuable person. I value myself a lot. And I think the next time I give myself to someone like that, I want it to be just to someone that you know, I actually see that going somewhere, like someone who I love, you know. So
Did somebody do something to kind of inspire this in you? Was somebody an asshole?
no, I mean, I've dealt with a lot of like, you know, just guys who are like,
Sure.
how are you? Just annoying. But no,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? He was a nice guy, the last guy I was with. But I was like, you know what? No, I you know, just want to
Yeah.
preserve myself for better.
Yeah, Trey.
I want to
thinks
say
that too, yeah.
as a what 2 successful divorces.
Right.
Be young and enjoy it while you can. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's true too.
because you
Trey
know,
is telling me to get ran through. Is what I mean.
Rammed?
so
Did you say rammed?
ran through.
Ran through.
Getting rammed.
So let me
Rammed?
let
I
me
guess
put it
it-
this way. Let me put it
Yeah.
this way. So
I'm gonna use that from now on. Trey get ran through tomorrow night. Good. I love that one, Antwan. Sorry.
So after my second divorce, I ran through. You know, I had a wild side. You know, but I
Lots
think
of running through.
But I think it helped me appreciate when you do find that one person, even though I wasn't looking for them. And we even go back to our meeting and say, you know, neither one of us were looking for anything serious, but we found it. How do we fucking deal with it at this point? That's a whole nother story. But anyway, I would say, obviously, be safe. You know, if you find somebody that's fun to hang out with, enjoy, you know, just be true to yourself, be true to them. Because I would tell them flat out, I'm not looking for anything serious.
Yeah.
You know, and so I had some fun times. So be young, enjoy being young,
Yeah.
because one day you're gonna find that great guy. You know, and so.
And he'll run through me all the time.
And,
Did you know you were gonna get this like
You know,
life?
I did. You know, but I appreciate this.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
because
I don't think I've ever got that from Trey.
I wish I would have been young a little bit longer myself.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck yeah.
So
I'm with you.
I mean, I literally got
I'm married. I'm married. I love my wife.
I think I was about to get married when I was your age.
oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
See, that's the difference between us.
crazy.
Is I waited a long time because I was nervous about being so young.
Yeah.
Trey kind of jumped into it, and I think that's kind of where he and I differ in that regard. And but I'll still tell him to this day, like, that's the reason your first marriage didn't work. Period. I can't. I mean, just no. I mean, you're too young. You're too young. I mean, can you imagine being married right now?
No.
Right.
Well, actually, no.
Oh,
but when you find that guy,
Antoine, you're supposed to say no.
Well, there was a guy, I'm not going to say when or where, that I was like, you know what? If you asked, I would say yes.
oh,
and I'm gonna say, I better fucking get an invitation.
Of course.
Okay, the first
We're
one,
going to have
the second one,
a live
The second
podcast
one,
at my wedding.
the first.
although Ryan will not show up. I'm just letting you know that
come on.
right now.
Trey's bitter because I had life in that I couldn't go to his weddings, which I regret.
Wait, what?
I regret.
You didn't go to either of his weddings?
Look,
I flew to Scotland for his wedding.
do we really want to get into this?
Yeah.
No, we'll move on. We'll move on. But I do
Yeah,
want. I do want an invitation.
I do feel I will never never live it down. But he knows how bad I feel about it. So
I give him shit all the time.
yeah,
but yeah,
he's allowed to.
we're gonna have fun at your fucking wedding.
We really are.
All right.
I already have.
When's that going to be?
And I'm gonna have a talk with this guy.
You should.
Oh, he's coming on the show.
Gonna come on the,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna have a separate talk with him. First.
Oh,
He's doing what on the show?
well, we'll see.
I'm gonna have a separate talk with him. So
No one
listen,
got
you
back to
fuck
it.
around with Antoine,
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Well, but it'll be recorded.
We have to do it on the show. I
You
don't
know-
wanna,
okay,
I don't want to embarrass
fair
him.
enough. Well,
I don't want
cool.
him to change his mind.
No one got
I
my
like
joke.
I like where you what joke? I missed it.
You said he's gonna come
You're
on
a
the
very-
show.
you're-
He's gonna
very-
come on the show.
and I was like, he's gonna do what on the show?
Hey,
Well, I can't believe we both missed that.
we'll have to. No, I heard it.
Oh, he
We'll just have
ignore
to.
it.
We'll just have to do that on location somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't even know what the rules are. Is there a rule about that? Has it become?
on a podcast?
Yeah, I know on radio there are rules, but
Let's just say I don't think your wife would like that one.
no, probably not.
I think we should
Whatever.
just.
I don't think she's listened anyway, so
That's a road we should not go down.
she's gonna listen. You know, my beautiful, lovely wife is gonna listen to all the shows at once, all of a sudden, and she's just. what the fuck?
Can you
Have some
imagine?
words.
Can you imagine? She's gonna wonder why we're putting plastic wrap all over the floors, and
We're fine. It's just a bit.
it's good.
It's
We're
just
putting it over the chairs and stuff.
It's just
So
a bit. Take it easy.
We're having some friends over. It'll be all right.
Let's. We have to move forward. If you knew how long we've been going,
Sorry.
no. Do not apologize because this is the issue, and that's why I'm trying to look at podcasts that do actually go 3 hours. There are some out there, and I aspire to be that because I don't think I can do less. I've told Trey, Antwan, how many times we need to limit it. Let's do like a 45-minute show.
We've yet to hit that.
No, but not even close.
You should never limit yourselves.
We've never, not even a practice show have we done 45.
No, it's not even close. I mean, we have 6 topics, and after 2 topics, I've hit 45.
And we probably didn't even touch the topics.
So
either.
let's.
Tonight,
Well,
let's go
especially with
through all the
Antwan.
topics.
We have not got through the topics.
And there are some
Antwan.
topics I want to get to tonight that we
Antwan.
haven't gone to yet.
Yeah, let's go right now.
Okay.
We got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. You like conspiracy theories.
I love them.
Okay. The other show, the last show we did, and recently, everybody knows there was this huge government. They call it a government, but it was a what do you call it?
A national alert or something.
The national
Attacks.
alert on
Yeah.
the phones. Well, there are conspiracy theories, and again, I think I even admitted then I'll bash the right because it's mostly right wing conspiracy about this current administration, and it was saying that this Pfizer. You didn't take the Pfizer vaccine, did you?
I have all the Pfizer vaccines. I have like 4 or 5 of them.
Me too.
I'm fucked.
Pfizer baddies.
Yeah, I'm not. This isn't good for me because what they're saying initially is that the combination of taking the Pfizer vaccine and a bunch of 5G frequency. I think I sounded right there.
Yeah.
What happens is that it takes away. There's this gene called I'm trying to find it here. The 1p36 gene. Well, of course, right? We all know about the
1p36, yeah.
36 gene. And when you took that vaccine, apparently it wiped that out.
Okay.
And what they're saying is that when there's a 5G frequency at the capacity of what happened the other day, when everybody got that alert, that it would zombify, if that's a word. It would give everybody characteristics of zombies. It would scatter their brains and make them want to bite things. I can't even say it with a straight face. It literally says it would give them the propensity to bite.
Like a
Do you are
little
Antwan,
ankle biter?
Not biting the way you like to bite it. I'm talking about ankle biter. So have you heard this first off? And second off, is there anything to this or is this just people that are like fake conspiracy theorists?
So you know what? I never heard of it before, but you know what? So since like 2 years ago, everyone's phone has come with 5G.
Right.
And maybe that 5G has made your brain has reduced the folds in your brain. It kind of made it a bit more smooth.
Well, something's made it something.
Yeah, and maybe that's what made you have that thought that would happen.
Oh. Ooh.
So maybe you're already the zombie. If you're thinking that.
That's true.
That's deep shit, Antwan.
Yeah.
So you're saying right now that I could be a zombie.
We could all be zombies.
We don't know.
We don't know.
That's a whole new zombie land.
I'm entirely joking, but
No,
That would explain the porn I've been watching too.
oh,
You know, we can talk about anything and it's going to come back to porn.
Trey
Sorry.
likes it when people dress up as the Jack in the Box mascot.
Is that wrong?
the big clown guy.
Yeah.
I don't see that as a bad thing.
That was so random, but I
Some
love
curly
it.
fries?
I just saw the commercial.
Now I want Jack in the Box.
Yeah.
Curly
Some
fries. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on from that. I'm going to give you a quick story. I want to know what you thought, but
Yeah.
apparently he didn't think much of that story.
That thought was below my tax box.
He's like, am I really on this bullshit?
Right.
So let me tell you this real fast. And then I want to see where you take me.
Yeah.
Did you know that I like to talk about orcas.
God damn it.
I actually did not know that.
Trey's all excited.
I'm done.
See you later, Trey.
Bye.
There have been a bunch of orcas where they're attacking boats. There's one bitch that's the leader, and she's Antwan.
Was it White Betty?
So basically, Antwan's admitting he hasn't watched the show either
At all.
I've watched the later episodes.
Our last guest, Tim, admitted straight up. He's like, I've only watched the first 8. I'm like, well, we deleted the first 8. So,
He talks about orcas every other fucking show.
well,
So,
I'm very fascinated because
you just say it so often?
they've been attacking boats. And the ringleader, I say the bitch because it's a she, of course.
Okay.
Right?
Of course it's a
right,
she.
Trey? That's why our female numbers have gone down. She has spread the word, and there are orca specialists, if you will, scientists that say that they are smart enough, and I believe that they're very smart, that they're transmitting like this is how you do this type stuff, and they're just attacking boats.
Yeah.
And it got close, and then it was on the New York. Check this out. So off the coast of San Francisco, there was a big, I say big boat, probably a 40 or 50 foot sailboat, maybe a fisherman boat. And these small orcas came up to the side of the boat. And these people on the boat are like, whoa, cool, these orcas. Trey and I by now would have been like, holy shit, let's
get out.
get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Time
What's the
to
number
get out
one
of the
rule?
water.
What's the number one rule? Don't jump in the
Yeah,
water.
don't jump
Okay.
in the water. Don't provoke.
Don't provoke them, right? Antwan, there's the captain.
Do not engage.
Antwan, the captain went on the front and he started yelling as they were swimming off, and they turned right around. And did you know? I'm telling you, go listen to the show, Antwan. But anyway, so they came up to there's like 4 of these. I think they call them calves. The whale.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Something like that. Let's just pretend that calves is the right for the
Watch
the
it like
young.
it's so incorrect.
Yeah, it's like not even close.
Yeah.
For the young whales. And they came up to this boat, and one of them had this like netting in its mouth, and it was being playful.
Yeah.
And then the guy would kind of go, okay, and he'd reach toward, and then they'd play, and they'd give these the kind of high pitched positive noises. And they were like, oh, this is great, cool. Yeah. Especially if they had been listening to our show.
Yeah.
They're like, well, at least we're not getting rammed.
Getting attacked, yeah.
The hull's not being taken out. And so all of a sudden, one of the orcas grabs the net and just takes off. And they, of course, translate in like, let's follow.
Yeah.
And so they take the boat and they go, and all of them are swimming by the boat. And they go, and apparently the mom, or a big ass orca, the tail is caught in a buoy line down low and that piece of rope is from that buoy line.
I see. Oh wow.
And so the big whale like slowly put her tail up, almost as if she knew that they were there to help.
Yeah.
She wasn't scared. She like went slowly. They freed her. And they said that the the sounds made when she was freed, I don't know how serious I take this. The scientists, the whale experts said they were cries of joy, pure joy.
See, I was hoping that would have went a different way.
No, hold on. And all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh yeah, they're all everyone on the boat's all excited. We freed her, high five, and this is what they wanted." And now we love orcas again. The humans and orcas have now come together.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they turn. No, I wish, but I really wish, but no. This is a good story.
Yeah.
So they came back, and the mom and all of the babies each had a stingray in their mouths, and they were like,
What the
they were like offering it.
Like dead stingrays?
Yeah, like they just grabbed them. Yeah, they're dead. Their teeth are.
Fuck.
And they were offering it to the boat as like a
gift?
Thank you. Here's a dead fucking stingray. And they all were like, it's like the people on the boat claimed that we knew this was, they knew they were thanking us.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
Dead stingrays.
And apparently, as the boat went to shore, they guided them in, and it was this big emotional thing. So look, I just want to say,
Fireworks went off.
I'm not.
Celine Dion started singing in the background.
The virgin gave birth.
I just want people to know that listen to this show that I am not anti-orca. that when there is a positive, feel-good orca story,
Right.
that this is what happens.
We'll give kudos.
Let's I'm gonna put the pressure on you now, because when I mentioned orca earlier,
I
to
have
you,
some words.
You had some words, and I want those words right now.
I'm not anti-orca. I've always loved whales.
Well, thank goodness.
Free
'cause
Willy,
they just
love that
look. They
movie.
just offered some stingrays
But
up.
here is my thing. So the orcas have been ganging up on humans for months, right? They've been trying to capsize boats.
Ooh.
I think that what's happening is they're trying to create a false sense of familiarity between them and the humans. How about we have them help us out of this net that we could have gotten ourselves into, and we make them think that we like them and offer them something. That way, when we go to shore, we just eat them.
But wouldn't they know it's better than to offer a stingray?
Maybe they were alive still, and you get the stingray, and next thing you know, dead.
That could happen, or they're just they're just playing coy. I think
That's true.
The whales are trying to kill us.
You think the whales are just like fucking with us right
An
now?
uprising right
Yes.
now.
You think that this story I just told you?
This is
You think it reeled me in?
This is
on
like-
doing the fishing pole
yeah,
I might have got a tear in my eye when I watched this video. guys.
I could tell.
You're saying that they're fucking with me, and you're saying that I'm the idiot for falling prey to this.
Yeah, and
Well, he
I
said
don't know
you were
what
the
the-
idiot even before the story, but
Okay, an extra idiot for this story. I know how everybody feels before the story.
I don't know what their plans are, but I don't know what's going on. But something's not right there.
So you think the mama whale put her tail in the? Oh wow, I love it. What do you
long
think,
game.
Trey?
Yeah, it's a long game.
It's a lot.
mean,
Yeah, you don't win the battle.
Why would
but
I
you,
not believe?
Who gives a
anything
shit
Antoine
about the
says?
one battle? But you care about the war.
It's not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Yep.
Right. Well, how many cliches can we give right now?
I have
how
no
many?
idea.
It's not the battle. it's
Maybe
the war.
they're upset about Biden throwing all the pudding cups in the ocean and polluting it.
Maybe.
Is that a possibility?
Antoine, if you listen to this show, we really just believe Joe Biden cares only about one thing, and that's pudding cups.
Pudding.
And I told you that his thing is ice cream. He loves ice cream.
Well, it's a form of pudding, kind of.
Sure.
It's cold pudding.
You got to wait until it melts before you can eat it.
You're right.
So
Let's go. It's cold pudding. Really fast. If it wasn't Trump and it wasn't Biden, who you voting for? Or who would you like? No Biden, no Trump.
Who else,
Or have you thought about
who
that?
else is running?
Let's move
my
on.
options.
Let's move on. I didn't know if you had followed it.
I'm gonna vote for Ramaswamy.
Because we got yelled at.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Antoine.
brown one?
The brown
Yeah.
one.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you
Antoine.
imagine
racist.
President Ramaswamy?
Run him
Antoine.
over.
No.
Make him a manslaughter.
That's racist right there.
No, it's not.
Look, you're black and you're talking about a brown guy. That's racist.
Okay, and
So look, I got yelled at on one of the social media sites because I thought that having a President Ramaswamy sounded funny.
yeah,
And he called me, racist. He called me bigot. He called me all these things. And I said, it's not about that. It's the name. It's literally just the name Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
I've actually listened to the guy. He's a very smooth talker. He's
Yeah.
a little cheesy, but
he's a smooth talker.
but some of his stuff, he's a businessman.
politicians are, though.
He's a business. Well, no,
But
no,
like-
not recently.
Okay,
You
Cheesy.
think Biden
Here's
and Trump
what
are
I'm
all
saying.
smooth talkers? No.
if Ron DeSantis is looking at you funny, that's why you're fucking stupid. Okay, so yeah.
Oh, here we go. I love it. We should have gotten into politics
Yeah.
first, but next time we'll get into politics.
I don't follow politics.
All I know is that our friend Meg, let's give a shout out to Meg.
Meg,
I hope she's doing
I love
well.
you. I miss you. I pray thee well.
And hopefully, I don't even know if she's listening. She might not give a fuck.
Yeah.
She's doing her thing in law school up north, and all I know is that our colleges play this year at some point, and she's talking shit. So
Already?
already.
Nice.
So I hope she's doing well. But when you guys were here, I think that was the consensus was you didn't like Ron DeSantis. I don't mind the guy overall.
Oh, Rhonda's a guy?
Ron Space.
No, because the other day I was like Ron DeSantis, and they were like, "Who the fuck is Ron DeSantis?" They thought I was Rhonda. Anyway, sorry.
No, you guys can talk. I don't.
When I go vote, I'm gonna be pissed. I was like, why is Rhonda not on this ticket?
Yeah, where's
That's right.
Rhonda? Are you silencing women once again?
I'm
Oh my god.
gonna ask you a question, and I don't know how much you know about this gentleman.
Yeah.
Does the name Tim Scott do anything for you? No.
Is that the guy you had on your podcast the other day?
Oh that's Tim. It's something else. We're not supposed to say his last name.
Tim Scott might be like a
Tim
sexual
Scott.
predator.
No,
or
no.
something.
Tim Scott
No?
is a Republican black man
Okay.
who I love.
His name is Tim Scott.
Tim Scott, black dude. Tim Scott. No, I mean look, that sounded so bad right there. Forgive me.
Tim Scott.
Was
he adopted?
Antoine's never coming back.
What does that mean, Trey?
Yeah. Antoine, tell Trey how you feel about
Come
what
on,
he just
Tim
said.
Scott. That sounds like a super white name. No.
I have a white last name, I guess you could say. It's not
That's
Okay.
true.
what's a black last name? Like,
That's
I don't
true.
know. That's-
yeah,
true.
Trey.
Well, and not
Okay, that was
not
bad of me. Okay, I'm sorry.
not to throw a whole nother topic under there, but a lot of black people's last names are from
From slave time.
slave times.
They just took their slave
that's
last
true.
name.
The name, Mech something is not an African name. That's a Scottish name. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it depends on.
So Tim Scott.
This got serious. Tim Scott, I love Tim Scott as a black man.
You love him as a black man.
Ryan, as a black man, loves Tim Scott.
I'm saying
Ryan is transracial.
I'm saying no. How about this?
love
How
him
about,
as a
how
black
about
man.
this?
Oh my god.
How about this? Like it or hate it, Trump's going to get the Republican nomination, right?
Yeah. And I'd rather him than Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, fuck Rhonda.
Ooh, yeah, Rhonda's a bitch. God. I wish I had 4 hours with you, Antoine, to talk.
We don't-
to talk.
We have the time. Trey, what do you have to do?
Trey didn't have shit to do. We're
So
good.
I listen to him bitch about editing all the time.
No. Look. This show may be released in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
No. Because this is great. I forgot what I was going to say.
Perfect.
The fact that you think that Donald Trump over DeSantis is very interesting, and I would like to pursue that further. But say Donald Trump wins the Republican nomination, which I think it's obvious that he will.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he grab a guy like Tim Scott, who is a black Republican, who isn't far Republican? He's kind of he's kind of like Kennedy on the left.
He's a closet Democrat.
I don't know if I go that far, but it's close. Wouldn't he would probably win if he grabbed, because you're going to get some black votes, don't you think? That
Is it a possibility he'll do that?
well,
I think.
if he's smart, which we're not sure about, but whatever.
I mean, I think he would have a fighting chance.
You don't think he has a fighting chance without that? If it's Biden-Trump again, you think Biden's going to win?
God, I hope not.
Honestly,
No, yeah. There's not enough pudding left.
Speaking of pudding pack, so
I feel like no one likes Trump or Biden, to be honest.
That's the point, though.
And so-
it's like, so if it's between the two,
well,
I
if
don't-
nobody likes Trump, why would he be the Republican?
Because my
Choice
problem-
again.
Ron DeSantis actually says a lot of things that I don't actually agree with, like at all. Like for my core, I don't agree with. And Trump was just kind of there when he was in office.
Yeah.
And I feel like he would just be there again.
you don't
And
think he
he's-
did anything good.
I mean, he could have. I wasn't paying attention.
I think he did some things, but
Yeah,
it's all right.
Probably the Tax Cuts and Jobs
And
Act.
again,
I don't know.
I'm not a pro. Like, everyone, shut the fuck up.
No.
Everyone's gonna come at me, yell. I'm not. I'm just saying there were some things. Not you, Antoine.
it was
But
me.
I got.
Yeah, I mean,
Trey,
It was me.
I've got a lot of people that are like, it's obvious that you're pro. I'm not. I just feel like he did some good things when he was there, and let's focus on that.
I mean,
and
I'm
everybody
sure-
has Trump pajamas like you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. When people, I know I don't pay any attention to politics. So
Right.
it's like that's just like not my wheelhouse.
Is that something common with your age?
Probably,
You think?
yeah,
At your college,
it's really-
which we won't say,
yeah.
do you think the people around you are less into politics? than you think they or we think they should be. I think they should be, but
I think probably less involved than you think. I think they just go with like what their parents probably just vote for, to be honest.
ooh. But do you?
Which that's baffling to me. With the university you go to, I figured it would be very.
But I would think that it would be, like you said, influenced by the university. Maybe your teachers, maybe your professors, other friends.
For example, like the whole mask mandate, people were not having that.
Like,
at all.
That might just be Texas though.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're like, shut up.
I don't know.
Mask.
No, but
I still see people with masks. Do you just?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
come
it's kind of
on.
annoying to be honest. Anyway, but look, no, I
Come
just
on.
feel like
I want to go up into them and just just,
okay, well that's a bit like a violation of personal space. But
well, no. I don't literally do that, Antoine. I just want to.
yeah, but no, but yeah, they're just so boring, and everyone's always so angry. Like I'm like,
Yes.
this is fucking grass. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but I don't know what Trump did like policy wise. Was he the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act?
Yeah, well, sure. He was tax cut. I mean, he has
was
the
that
highest
good?
tax cuts.
I assume it was good. I don't
That's
know.
a good thing.
I assume
He put through things that certain people on the right like, which politically,
Yeah.
which again, I'm socially all over the place. But when it
Yeah.
comes to border security, when it comes to economic policy, when it comes to whatever, Trump seemed to put through and that's the problem, is that it's not about the person, it's about what they're going to push through. So Biden's going to push through these things that I don't like. Trump's going to push through, okay, even though Trump might act like a dipshit at times, he's still going to push through what I like when it comes to a federal government. I don't have to love this guy. I just want my policy pushed, and that's the problem.
I think for me, my whole thing is just like, will this president like not do? Will he do the proper work to ensure that me and other people of color will not be like, ganged up against in the streets for no reason? Also, can I still get married? Those are my only two concerns.
Well, you can, and Donald has come out and said, "I'm not. I will." That the Supreme Court's ruled. I'm never going to reverse that.
Well, good for him. So yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm not. And again, that doesn't sound like I'm defending him,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like,
it sounds like
Ron DeSantis, on the other hand,
nah, I don't think you can reverse it though. Can you really reverse it?
probably not. But he's gonna really try really hard to. I feel like he would.
Right.
He was kind of.
You think so?
Don't say gay.
You think so?
He's very against.
I don't want to believe that because I like some of the other
want
things.
to believe.
I know I like some of the other things, but
Look at the facts.
so I mean, I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like if it's between Biden and Trump, I mean, it's not about a guy that eats pudding or a guy that is an asshole and tweets bad things. It's about which policies are they going to push. And Ron DeSantis, unfortunately, will push some policy that I feel is more what a federal government should push.
Oh my god.
Let's move on. We've lost Trey.
Sorry.
He's sleeping. Oh, well, welcome back. But and again, we've gone way too long, but I love it because this is what happens when we bring Antwan on, is good conversation. The only thing left I had tonight, so you're voting Donald.
I never said that.
No on Rhonda. That's all he said.
No Rhonda.
I'm
no
not voting
Rhonda.
for Rhonda.
If it was Donald versus, never mind. We're not going to go there. Let's talk real fast. I mean, I'm talking like we're going to end this show.
Okay.
Trey and I do a segment, which you know, but I'm going to go and tell anybody that might be
Let's see
listening
if
for
we
the
can
first
pull this
time.
off.
It is called Awareness of Self-Awareness.
Boom.
It's taken me 40 how many episodes to say it correctly, and all it is just people that piss us off, that need to be more self-aware of the things they're doing to annoy everyone around them. You told me earlier, you didn't tell me what it was, but I once I said, "Do you have one?" He goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So let's go.
So I have this friend, and she has like
Is this Meg?
No. She has like 2 offenses in like, if I'm a kingdom and I have my own laws, she has violated like at least 2 of them. Right? Right. Over the past couple of years. And I let the first one.
She's very close. You're very close with her?
Yeah, close enough. I addressed it.
Okay.
And I addressed the first one. But the second one, tell me why we were at like a company function. Because we kind of work for like the same company, or will be working for the same company. And she brings up some drama that happened. She brings up this person. And I was like, that person said this about me, said this negative thing about me, and this negative thing about my other friend. Why does my friend who brought up that person go back to the person who was talking trash about me? Sorry. Okay.
Did you get any? Trey, did you get any of that?
Hold on.
So Fred. Let's say,
my brain's about.
Let's
to explode.
say friend B.
I'm joking. Okay, I got it. I'm with you.
So friend B brings up other person, and I was like, other person said this about me and this about my other friend. Why does friend B go back to other person and tell them what I said? And I'm just like, okay, that's kind of like that seems just kind of calculated and messy to me. Like you're trying to incite drama.
So who's other friend closer to you or friend B?
Friend B. Yeah. And so I'm just like, it just seems like you're trying to stir mess. And why does it feel like every time like someone tells you something, someone else finds out? Or what does it seem like you're always trying to like stir up drama? And I'm just like, really, I'm trying to like be nice to you, but I just can't if you continue to like abuse my trust.
Sure.
You know? And then also, she like texted me the other day and was like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, I don't have the time to respond to you, but I also don't want to because I don't know how to feel about you right now. So that's my first, be aware. Like if you're going to, don't just go and be messy and expect to not suffer any consequences. That's number 1. Number 2.
Yeah, Trey.
The person who was talking trash about me got mad that I was telling people what she said about me. And I was like, girl, then why'd you say it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I say to you all the time.
Yeah.
But
wow,
I think there's a little self-awareness you should learn there too.
Ooh. Okay, go ahead, guys. I'm excited.
Because if other person is closer to friend B,
yeah,
I wouldn't have told other person shit. Because
even friend B. Sorry.
So I'm just saying.
I'm still confused. I'm trying to follow. Good friend.
Because I think if
friend R
if
is
friend B is already dick to you.
Yeah.
Other person is friend B's confidant or closer to friend B than you.
And you know what? She caught me slipping.
Yeah.
And I thought that I didn't think that she would go back and do that.
Yeah.
That was my fault. You're right.
And I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
So don't push it in writing either, because then you can always say, I never said that.
The kingdom of Antwan had its drawbridge down that night.
Yeah. Pick your drawbridge up.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey's drawbridge is always down.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Comes with age, though.
On that note, oh, man, I cannot believe that we're at the end of the show, Antwan.
Shit.
We love having you on. What do you think? Let's have him back soon.
Well, hell yeah.
I feel like we could do a show with the exact same topics, continue on, and like still fill another show.
Part two.
But some of the stuff is great, and I just feel like if I want to edit for 14 days, then we can keep going. But
this show will come out next month.
Yeah. Come Christmas time, Christmas 2023.
The Christmas special.
The best things take time.
Yeah.
You're right, Antwan. You're right. No, some of this was great, and I thought you and I we might get a little more heated when it came to the race talk, and I think that there are some issues that I'd like to have with you. And
He wants to have issues.
I want to have issues.
I didn't say relations. I said issues. But if
did you mean there's issues you want to discuss with him, not have with him?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You want to have beef with
him. Semantics.
He's the other person, isn't he?
I want.
Yeah.
I was very quiet during that point. Have you noticed?
He's like, shit.
This is the least I've
Found
talked
out.
in the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, I feel like when it comes to topics of race, there are a lot of things that I am very passionate about and frustrated with when people say.
Yeah.
And I have to be careful, and I feel like I have to be careful. And that's another topic in and of itself.
Yeah.
When you come on the show, because I don't view you as our black guest
Yeah.
or our gay guest. I view you as Antoine, who comes on the show and offers a different perspective than these two honky tonks.
More of a young guest.
And a young, and you. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You are the opposite of the.
Could not be further from it.
Yeah, of what's sitting here, but yet we can relate, and yet we adore you, and we have such a good time with
Likewise.
you.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're on here. And I think what I'd like to do at some point is really be able to dive into the race thing and dive into some of these things that really just, some reason they really irk me. And I want to know from somebody who has some validity. I don't want somebody that I don't Trey telling me something that doesn't mean shit because he's Trey and I are like the same like the same person here.
Yeah.
And something just fell off my desk.
It happened.
Sounds like it was thrown off your desk.
And probably my phone. Who gives a shit? But so we love having you on.
Yes.
I know that you've let us out before with certain sayings, but can you think of anything, any little bit of wisdom or any just goodbye or just something?
You know what?
As
I
we
usually
close.
end with a little saying.
A happy in what?
I usually end with oh my god. Okay. But today I want to tell a brief story.
Oh,
Nice.
this is a perfect way to end. Here we go.
There was a picture on the wall
Trey's hard
of
right
me.
now. Go ahead. Sorry.
There was a picture on the wall of me on a John Deere. Jenny handed me a beer and said, "Hey, how the hell'd you get up there?" And I said, "Oklahoma." The silence.
You should let that silence go further. Did you understand what the fuck you talking about?
I did not.
Oh shit.
That's a lyric from a song that I like.
Oh, it's a lyric.
Yeah.
Is that Miranda Lambert?
No, it's Lana Del Rey.
Who?
Lana Del Rey.
Oh. Yeah, I got issues with her. But we'll talk about that on the next show.
Excuse me. What?
She said some stuff, right? She's kind of out there.
What did she say?
I thought she said some woke type stuff that.
About Kanye West?
Anyway.
This was supposed to be the ending.
Yep.
That wasn't
So
very...
those are song lyrics.
Yeah.
You memorized those, so you really like Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey.
She's hot, right? She's pretty hot.
I
don't
think
know
she's
who
a
she
beautiful woman.
You don't know who she is?
Guys, you're not being very trans-inclusive, ass-protrusive right now. So
And there it is. Go ahead, do it real fast. We're gonna go.
thoughts intrusive, trans-inclusive. Wait, no, fuck. Sorry. Thoughts intrusive, ass-protrusive, trans-inclusive.
Trey loves the ass protrusive part. And we'll see you guys next time. We love you.
Later.
Thanks, Antoine.
Hugs and kisses.
Love you, buddy. If I come back in my next life, I hope I'm an orca
Oh my god.
with a big never mind.